We're heading over to Kick Talk now. We've got a whole bunch of really good guests lined up. I'm missing my co-host today, unfortunately. Andrew is sick, so he's not able to join. So I'll be doing my best to keep the show on the road without Andrew around. But we've got, like I said, 3 awesome guests coming around this week. We got SHAKTYG, we got MsSAVAGEAF and BBJess. I hope you guys can hear me. You guys can move down when SHAKTY, you can move down when you're ready. But just, guys, a quick intro about SHAKTY. SHAKTY's our first guest coming on. SHAKTY is, I think we first sort of came on our radar when SHAKTY started basically running this stream. I think it went for like 30, 40, 50 days or something. And he basically said kick like a million times. He ended up getting there, which was incredible. I think he then doubled it down and ended up going for like a million shots of saying like banana. I can't remember what it was exactly. He's gonna have to correct me in a second. But then he went on again and then took all the money he made from subs and everything and started giving back to people in India with some IRL streaming, just like food and stuff like that, which has been super wholesome. Also based in India, where Kick is like picking up a bunch of traction recently, which is so cool to see. But yo, SHAKTY, you're here, man. I was just doing an intro for you.
Yeah, hello. I can hear you loud and clear, Eddie. The video is not working, which is a bit weird because... Oh, is it working?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, it's a bit ironic. I'm Indian. I'm supposed to be good at this technical stuff, but clearly I'm not.
Yeah.
So, it's good to see you, Mr. Eddie. It's good to see you. It's finally good to see you in person and talk to you in person.
Hey, man, it's awesome to have you on here. Thank you so much for dropping by. I'm a big fan, of course. I come by your stream quite a bit, and I've been following you for a while. So massive shout out for everything you do and everything you've been adding to Kick. You are truly the definition of the kind of person who makes a difference on the platform and really promotes positivity. But yeah, I've got a quick question for you, man, and then I'll kind of hand it over to you. But what kind of... most recently, you've done the IRL streaming of giving back to people in India, right? Like some villages and some places where they're less fortunate and, again, massively heartwarming content then. What kind of inspired you to take, what was essentially your literally very hard-earned sub money, right? I'm talking like some of the hardest earned sub money. You said a kick a million times. You said something else a million times, right?
I clicked a banana a million times, wearing a banana and eating a banana.
That's still a lot of work. You keep again, very hard earned money, and basically said, hold on a second, we're not going to actually use that money. We're just gonna I'm gonna give it away. Where did that idea originally come from?
I think, to be honest with you, Eddie, it's a lot to my upbringing, because my dad always raised me with this thought process that we came to this world with absolutely nothing. And when we do depart this world, we are going to basically leave this world with nothing. The only thing we're going to leave behind in planet Earth is basically a legacy so our purpose here, not everybody's purpose, my purpose would be to give back to the community, to change lives, to make a positive impact. I'm not Iron Man, but that'd be pretty cool if I could be, around that route of being a philanthropist, as good looking as Tony Stark. And I'm trying to grow that beard as well. Not really achieving success there, but that is the long-term goal. It's to just give back to the community and as much as possible and make a positive impact. And it all came from my dad and my mom. It's just my upbringing has been the core value since I was a child was to always give back. I think my dad till today gets scolded by his mom because he keeps giving money away. I mean, not on camera, but his mom is like, why are you giving money away? You need money for yourself. It's like, gets in trouble for that. And I'm like, Dad, you do you. I'm following you. I'm getting scolding from my girlfriend, but it's all good. We'll keep it hush hush. So we still do give backs without our significant others knowing.
Man, it sounds like you need to do a stream with your dad one day.
We did actually do a stream with my dad.
Oh, you did? Oh, shit. How'd that go?
Yeah, so that was actually back on... If you notice, this is not my usual setup because I'm still in India. We still have a few things to do in India, and one of the plans is to actually start building houses in India. So I have talked with a few of my subs because a few of my subscribers have come forth and some viewers have come forth saying they really want to contribute and make a positive impact, not only in India, but anywhere they can. So instead of making temporary changes like making a floor or giving a bed, we really want to give them maybe like a one hall, one room, one kitchen house and see how it could go from there. So that would also come from my own money, my own subs, and we are trying to make it happen. We're actually looking at land around India right now to try to figure out the sources of income and think that out.
Fuck, man, that's another level. Going from just giving out, you know, obviously a little bit of help to building people actual houses. That's incredible. On that note, what was like? So the house is the next step, but what was actually in you know the care packages that you were dropping off in the recent streams?
Okay, so the care packages, we actually had 10 kilos of rice. We had oil. We had two kinds of oil: vegetable oil and some cooking oil. We also had spices, sugars, Milo, and washing liquid. We had some like mosquito nets, because these mosquitoes here, I'm telling you, they're bloody relentless. They just want to suck my blood. I've been running away. Even now, there'll be some on me, and I'm just like, stay away. And I'm outdoor because connection here is absolutely atrocious. Eddie, I'm telling you. I think Australia internet also is quite bad. I've heard people say Australia internet is Optus, absolute shit.
How do you know about Optus? Yeah, I'm with Optus, and yeah, as people who watch my stream are well aware, it's not great. But yeah, wait, but obviously you're in like a quite a rural part of India right now, correct?
Yes.
Whereabouts, or you don't say?
So this is I'm actually in a place called Tanjavur. It's like a main city, or Tiruchi is a main city. From there, 2 hours, you reach a town called Manarkudi. And from there, an hour, you'll reach a place called Mel Nimali. I know all these names don't mean anything to you, or actually, to be honest, even I don't know where I am exactly. I just got on a plane and got on a car and I ended up here. So this, it's a very, very rural area where there is no signal towers or anything around this area. That's why it's quite challenging when it comes to actually making content and streaming IRL. But we are sort of managing our way through.
On the note of India, though, like my final question from me before I hand it to you is you know, obviously streaming in India, right? Like what does it look like, you know, at the moment for live streaming? You know, what does Kick need to do to kind of, you know, get more of a presence, to attract more people to tune in, and obviously build a customer base, a user base, a viewer base, a streamer base in India? What do you think the best approach is there?
That's a very good question. I think to get Indians interested in streaming, I think Indians are very loyal to their sport. If you're not aware about it, I think you're very aware of, because Steak actually, I think, had something like this for the India Premier League or something. I'm not too sure, but we love our cricket. So I think if there is some form of, I think a lot of people also, the biggest issue right now, I think in India, is the payment gateway. I think they can't access Stripe, or there is no proper gateway for them to come in and, you know, monetize their efforts. So I think that's why they are not going forward with it. Because I've talked to a few Indians, they're like, yes, I want to stream on Kick, but it's using Stripe, and Stripe is not available on India. So I think if only that part or that kink is ironed out, and they now can earn sub money through Stripe, through India, through that payment gateway, I think it would make a huge difference, and I think you would see a huge rise in the amount of content creators coming up here.
That's a good point. That's a good point, actually. So obviously at that point, the best way to go would.
Sorry, Eddie, I can't quite hear you. I'm not so sure.
Sorry, I was just playing around my thing. So basically, I guess what Stripe doesn't work with UPI, right? You need UPI in India, I take it. Yeah, UPI. So that's probably the biggest blocker. Okay, interesting. We probably need to get on front of that. That sounds like an easy one to get fixed up. But obviously, what you've got Stripe set up because you're not your payment method isn't tip. Your location isn't always in India.
Yeah, I'm actually born and raised in Singapore, and I actually studied in Australia when I was a kid. I was in Tassie.
Oh, Tasmania.
Small boy. Yeah, I was studying in Hobart in a school called the Friends School since I was a kid. So the long-term goal is actually to migrate to Perth with my girlfriend one day. That's the vision that I've been having since a child. So hopefully I can achieve that and bring kick from Singapore back to Australia.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. You want to come to Perth? No, Perth is beautiful. Perth is absolutely beautiful. But what, you won't be picking Optus, eh?
No, I don't know. I need your recommendations, Eddie, because I need something that is good internet that I can do subathons with. That's the problem.
Shakta, how about, do you have any questions for me in terms of kick and what we're kind of getting up to, or?
So as you think, we've been doing a lot of charity streams. So I was wondering, actually, I have a question popped up here for you, which is, does Kick have any CSR, like corporate social responsibility initiatives or commitment to like social impact? Like
at this point in time, nothing quite yet. But I think in order to get those kind of very positive sort of stream similar to yourself, I think there's a way you could kind of like tie that in, right? Obviously try to find a way to sort of bring live streaming and bring this kind of, corporate responsibility. A lot of businesses do. You can find a way to kind of almost mold them together, right?
True.
Yeah, yes, I know. We certainly should try something like that. I think there's obviously a very important part of business nowadays is obviously trying to, make sure that you are on top of everything along those lines. I don't know, maybe you've got some recommendations on how we can make that kind of work.
So actually, what a lot of people don't know about this entire kick streaming, about how I came into this kick streaming actually is I got my license as a commercial pilot. I'm actually a pilot, and I was supposed to be, I got an offer from an airliner to fly their A320. But I actually declined them and decided to do streaming instead. So I wanted to become a streamer, and the streaming aspect of it actually encompasses of three things. The main one would be charities, challenges, and chatting. So talking about charities and how I think we could incorporate and help each other out is there is another charity challenge that we are actually going to be doing very soon, like the one I said kick a million times. But there is a new thing that we're doing, which is actually going to be happening in Australia itself. So sometime in October, I'm not sure if you know of this gentleman called Billy Mohammed. He's also goes by the kick name Bill PM.
Maybe I've seen the stream. So what's the kick name again?
Billy Mohammed.
Billy Mohammed. I feel like I recognize that name. If I drop by the stream, I might be able to put a face to a name. But what about him?
So we will be doing a charity challenge together this October, and the challenge actually entails us. We will be walking from Sydney Airport all the way to Melbourne International Airport. That is to kick out hunger in Lebanon. So that is a 911 kilometer walk. I didn't quite like the ring of 911 kilometers. If people know me, I like the 1 million number. So I want it to be 1 million meters, which is 1,000 clicks. So a slight change of plan would be, we'll be walking from Sydney to Canberra, which is the capital of Australia, not Sydney. And then we'll be walking up to Tarangano railway station and all the way down to Melbourne International Airport. That is a 1,000 kilometer walk or 1 million meter walk to kick out hunger for charity in October. So that is something, and all this will be live streamed exclusively on Kick.
That's awesome. You get when you finally make it to Melbourne, you're gonna have to drop by and say hello, I think.
That's the plan. I think it would be quite quite interesting ending if we could end up in Kick headquarters and say hi to Eddie after a 1,000 kilometer walk. I think it will be an honor for both me and Fousey.
It's definitely. How many days do you expect that to take?
20 days. So what's going to happen is we're going to walk 50 clicks and then take a break at different towns over the course of 20 days. And then once it's all done, we should be in Melbourne after 20 days.
Nice. All right. Well, looking forward to October, right?
October, yes.
How do you come up with these ideas for charity like this? It's just like I assume you must be just sitting back late at night, kind of brainstorming, or is it like it's such a great idea?
You'll be actually surprised. Fousey M and me, Billy Muhammad and me, we actually get on a Discord call and we call for about. I'm not even kidding you. I talk more to Bill DM than I do to my girlfriend. She's like, I don't get enough attention. You know, you're giving him way more attention. But I'm like, babe, it's business. I have to be on top of business here. So we talk for like 5-6 hours, just throwing ideas back and forth. And then finally, we're like, what if we walked from, Sydney to Melbourne? Something just absolutely absurd where people would love to see us suffer. I was like, that's brilliant. How could it go wrong? It's going to go wrong in many ways, but we will find a way to make it happen. But it does not end there because, like, how when we raised the funds, I came to India. Bill M and me will take a flight to Lebanon and actually hand out those money to the Lebanese people in person, and that too will be another live stream. So all this will once again be on Kick, and wanted to ask for permission. Can we just rep Kick everywhere? Wear a Kick hat, wear a Kick shirt.
That goes without saying. Of course you can. 100%. 100%.
The problem is it's out of stock, Mr. Reddy. I tried to buy a Kick shirt for L size. It's out of stock, and I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to make this happen? So,
we need to get that fixed up. You tell me it's out of stock. We're going to get that sorted. We'll get that sorted. We got until October. Yeah. There is no way. If you want that sorted, then we'll be on top of that. That's the very absolute least we can do to support you on this. What's literally an incredible journey, 1,000-kilometer sort of walk through Australia. It's going to be. I tell you, it's a nice time of year though to come to Australia. You're going to like it. October is a good time as it kind of heads on into summer, from spring. So you'll hopefully have at least some decent weather and some nice scenic sort of trips throughout Australia. So that's a great try. I didn't know you're doing that. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to definitely linking up in Melbourne when you make it down there.
Yes, for sure. That would be an honor for us as well to meet you. And if I could meet Mr. Bijan, I'm not sure where Mr. Bijan is, because I also want to actually show him some love and credit as well. So I'm not sure yet. If he's there, that'll be awesome. I can meet two legends at the same time.
I think he might be. He might be in Melbourne then. So we'll see. We'll see if we can line that all up. It'll be awesome. Shakty, I think we're running a tiny bit long time. Did you have anything else you wanted to quickly run through?
Oh, that would be all actually. I'm just very appreciative of the platform that you guys have given me to do this. I think it's a wonderful platform where I can showcase my charities and my little crazy side and my entertainment part of it. So I'm very thankful for you guys to provide me an opportunity, to provide me a platform and give me literally all the tools and resources I need to succeed as a streamer. So at the end of it, I just want to say thank you, Kick. As I said in India many times, thank you, Kick.
Awesome, guys. If you haven't already followed Shakty, definitely give him a follow. You'll see him on the front page of Kick quite often. He's doing some incredible stuff. Homegrown sort of Kick talent, we like to call it. Came here and is absolutely crushing it, doing incredible things. So, guys, show him a bit of love. Obviously, walking 1,000 clicks in October, probably doing a whole bunch of other stuff in between that. But Shakty, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for supporting Kick. I personally appreciate it, and I'm sure all the people that you're looking out for as well highly appreciate it, not to mention the viewers who get to join you on these epic journeys. So again, absolutely awesome to be able to finally speak to you, man, and I'll be watching from a distance and tuning in for the streams from time to time.
That's amazing. Thank you, Eddie. Catch up again later.
Have a good night, man. See ya.
Yeah, bye-bye.
That's Shakty, guys, absolute legend. Again, I can't recommend following him enough. He is one of the most amazing people on this platform. What he's doing is from the bottom of his heart. He is he's been streaming now for just a few months, really seeing a lot of progress. Definitely up and coming. You're going to see more of this guy for sure. Up next, we've got MsSavage AF. MsSavage has been on Kick for a while. She was actually part of the phase 2 of the creator incentive program. Was definitely a big help in sort of shaping a lot of what the terms of service of Kick was in the early days of Kick. Helped us to kind of understand what we needed to sort of work on. Has been a big component in sort of creating an environment that is fit for all creators, and definitely being a very vocal voice in the broader Kick community. MsSavage, you able to come down to this channel? Or do I need to drag down maybe? Hold on. There we go. Hey, MsSavage.
Good morning, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Let me pull up my virtual camera.
What it's quite early for you, I take it.
It's not terrible. It's 10 a.m., so it's not great, but it's not terrible.
Ah, that's all right. That's not too bad. Wait,
No,
you're in the East Coast, or?
Yeah, I'm on East Coast.
Okay, yeah, I guess if on the West Coast, that's when it gets a little bit more complicated. I was just saying before you joined the channel, a bit around your sort of history on Kick, and obviously the help you kind of given us, and the fact you've been around since sort of the phase 2 and whatnot. That kind of leads me into my first question, and I'm kind of going to hand it right on over to you, because I know you've always got a lot of feedback from me, and I'm looking forward to hearing it. But
You know me, always. I always got plenty to say.
Always. Oh, we love that. But your journey on Kick, right? You've been with us through a lot of the highs. Obviously there's been a few lows, and you've been with us the whole way. You've kind of kept us in the loop on everything that's going on. What's that journey kind of been like? Obviously, Kick is a new platform. There is all these hurdles and stuff, and you've kind of gone through the whole lot with us. What's that been like as a creator for you?
I think you kind of nailed it right away. There's a lot of highs and a lot of lows. It's one of those things that I feel like the highs do outweigh the lows, but when the lows are hitting, they're hitting very, very hard. And as a creator, I think my main concern, and I think I speak for a lot of people, is as a creator, you don't want to get doxxed. You don't want threats. You don't want to get all the hate, all the shame. And unfortunately, right now with the current state of Kick, you get a lot of that. And I feel like so when the lows hit, they're pretty freaking low. And as well as Kick does with, support, I love always seeing Kick staff in my chat. You're easy to talk to. Andrew's easy to talk to. Paulie's easy to talk to. Being able to have support immediately is probably the best part of it. So when you are going through these lows, you're not alone. Whereas other platforms, you have to put in a ticket and you have to wait 5 business days, and then you hope to get some support. So at least you are supported in that capacity. So for me personally, I think that is why I stay, and that's why I'm here. I think there is more positives to Kick that needs to have more light shown on it. I think Kick does get a lot of negativity, but that's why I kind of have some hard questions for you today to see how we can help shift that light from the negativity into all these positives that a lot of people don't think, see, or hear.
Yeah, no, well, I think that's you mentioned a big thing, is a lot of the stuff you guys as streamers have to go through, right? There is a lot of difficult things to deal with, and to be fair, obviously it happens on Kick, but it happens on all platforms as well. But having those kind of outreaches to kind of go like, hey, look, I need help, and being able to get that response, I think is definitely a big part of what we aim to do really well at. Even if that means kind of going to your creator dashboard, opening up that live ticket, and being able to, hopefully get a little bit of help from the support team whenever you require. But yeah, I must say it's obviously an uphill battle at times, and sometimes you can feel like, hold on, this is tough, especially with you mentioned a few things around the chat becoming quite complicated with individuals out there that just really don't like to give people a good time. So, again, we're here to support you, and all creators for that matter. And we get it. Me as a streamer as well, I'll be streaming and I'll see someone come through and start saying some vile stuff, and it catches you off guard. It fucks with your mood too. It ain't fun. You don't want you don't want that, right? Especially especially when you're meant to be kind of enjoying yourself. But on that note, Miss, I'll leave it to you. I'm here to answer anything, and don't go too hard on me.
I got my notes. I got my questions.
Yeah, right.
So I think the best way to kind of kick this off, to kind of build off of, would be what would you say Kick's ideal reputation would be? When people say Kick, what do you want them to think?
I think when someone mentions Kick, right, like obviously our main goal here is to think of the main sort of place for live streaming, right? They're synonymous with the leader in live stream, but to be the leaders in live streaming, you know, you need to have an incredibly good reputation to go along with that. You need to have incredible entertainment. You need to have incredible people associated with it. I think, you know, live streaming, people more commonly when they think of like, you know, when they think of the live streaming platform, they need to associate it with positive people, right? Because the brand is just a brand. The experience that people actually end up having when they're on Kick is subsequently a result of the people they watch and the people they engage with, or the people they think are on the platform, right? So, you know, a lot of the what the perception is perceived as, it relies on us having positive creators who can, you know, drive home that right messaging. So, you know, for us to achieve that, it's obviously through bringing the right people, the right communities, fostering those communities, looking after them so they continue to grow and stay, and you know, making sure we have the right people on the platform. But of course, you know, again, I mentioned this a few times back beforehand, but, you know, most importantly, we want people to be extremely proud when they, you know, say they're either a viewer or a streamer or associated with Kick in any shape or form. That's kind of the most important thing for us is making sure that when people think of Kick, they just think of really great entertainment, really wholesome entertainment, where you can go and enjoy a whole range of different types of content in a safe environment. You know, that would be the dream. Obviously, you know, some people don't associate it with that yet. Some people probably do, but ideally we want almost everyone. It should become almost a norm. And that's right, across not just, you know, the English speaking market, but, you know, across, you know, the French speaking market, the German speaking market, the Spanish speaking market, across the whole world. And that's, you know, it's a hard thing to do, to find those people to represent the brand in all those different areas. So that's the goal for us. But, you know, it's again, easy said, much harder done, but we're definitely, we're going to keep progressing.
Well, kind of bouncing off that, do you feel like Kick has that reputation right now? Personally? No,
not at all. Not at all. It's far from that. Of course, it's far from being the leading streaming platform, far from, you know, having every single person who thinks of Kick going, wow, that's a great place and whatnot. There's a lot of, you know, negativity that surrounds Kick, you know, that we understand. You know, I think we're making really good direction in kind of changing that. You know, again, people like Shakty, right? The person who was just on the stream before, you know, the stuff he's doing versus some of the stuff people associate with Kick is completely different. But of course, it's going to be a journey to get there. It's going to be a journey to get there, and I don't think it happens overnight. I think, of course, as long as the, you know, the right measures are put in place and the right sort of you know, foundation in terms of how we think of the business are continued to be, you know, moved on, then I think we can get there though.
Well, then how do you feel that you guys are handling that situation? How are you guys making sure to get that reputation? Because to be fair, it's been a little bit over a year, and most of the press that comes out is very negative press about Kick. It's always the creators who are causing content that gives these reputations, but it's also creators that you guys are heavily backing. So it's kind of that mixed catch-22. It's like these are creators that have great views, but they're also creators that are problematic and going against the reputation and that stands for Kick and what you guys want. So my question, I guess, is what are you guys going to start doing to kind of start fixing this reputation? Are you planning on, like, you have great creators, you have all the phase partner creators are amazing that I know, and you have other creators that are in this weekly spotlights and everything, but I feel like they don't get the backing from Kick that they deserve, and Kick is still too heavily backing the problematic streamers that are giving you these bad reps. It's almost like these bad streamers are getting publicity off of you guys and tainting your reputation, and you guys just kind of take it. So I kind of want to know, what are your plans to start fixing that? If you want your rep to be this positive image, you kind of have to give and take there.
No, I think you make a really good point there. A few questions there, right? A few questions there. I think the first, of course, is I think the reality is, and we have to admit this to an extent, that the media and what gets portrayed, right? It's very natural that they're going to pick up the you know, the topics that are going to generate the most clicks, the most views, and unfortunately, you know, I think we're always at odds with that, right? People who come onto streaming and they try to go for this kind of shock factor, that's what picks up the the headlines, right? Obviously at the end of the day though, the headlines and what the media picks up, that is ultimately how people envision the platform. Whether we want to agree with the fact that's fair or not, of course, that is just a reality of how it works. So obviously getting ahead of that PR side, right? I think a lot of our sort of understanding here is that we actually, in the beginning of Kick, we never really sort of thought, okay, how do we sort of look out for the, way we deal with public relations? How do we sort of think about our image? How do we think about how the media looks at us? How we have relationships with them? How do we ensure they get the right information? We never really thought about that. So a big part, of course, is kind of sort of trying to resolve the fact that most of the media publications just take like reused clips and just, put a story behind it, and a lot of, almost false information comes. So, we're working on that front, right? We're most certainly working on that front. You mentioned, creators that were associated with being the ones sort of instigating that. That is a really great point. To answer that question, we started Kick obviously a little over 17 months ago now. Most of the contracts we signed were about 10, 11, 12, months ago. Most of them were sort of, 1 year contracts. And one thing that we do is we definitely stick to our words when we put contracts together. We're very good with that. Some people have been incredible with us. We've had incredible contracts, incredible deals with them. They've added a lot of value. They've been really great for the platform. And then there's some people who haven't been. And to answer your question, if someone's generating negative press for us, generating negative sort of image for Kick, then of course we're not gonna go ahead and renew those contracts again. So when you're talking about creators that we're supporting, I think I can safely say that if you're talking about people that continuously end up causing us issues, they probably won't stick around if we weren't to go ahead and endorse them in that extent. If they do choose to stick around after that, then that's up to them. But very much to that point, we don't want to go ahead and invest in people who are only going to hurt that sort of initiative that we mentioned before in terms of what we want Kick to be known as. So, I like to think that in these next couple of months, as a lot of these sort of initial contracts come to sort of renewal phases, you might see a shift in that. It is definitely going to be an interesting couple of months. But, completely agree with you on every point there. We don't want to be getting behind people who are causing us problems. And, we'll use that as a point of ensuring that we're only backing the right people, because, again, we can't stop crazy shit going down sometimes, even if it is within TOS, but we most certainly can control who we directly partner with, right? And who we actually fully endorse to that extent. So we're very much aware of that. And it's really a great point you bring up. And I think we can control that.
And that's kind of the point there, because no one wants Kick to become Twitch, over guarded and putting content creators in a box. But I do think that a lot of what happens on Kick is people preach, it's freedom of speech, but people don't understand there's freedom of speech and then there's plain harassment. And if Kick allows this kind of communication to keep happening, it's like, where's that line? There's content and freedom of speech and having the freedom to create content that you want. But if you don't have some limitation, people get hurt. People get doxxed. I mean, I've been threatened. I've had my mods banned 10 different accounts in one night. I've had people come to my Discord. I have people try to find my mods. I've had people literally constantly tell me to go off myself. And it's like, yeah, freedom of speech, but that's also harassment. So it's like seeing Kick take the steps necessary, because it's, people are like, oh, just ban them and move on. Well, like you even said earlier, when you're having a stream and your whole chat is full of it, it's hard to just move on when I can't even read my chat because there's so many people just trolling. And it's not fair to my mods or me as a creator to have 500 words banned just to get these people out. So it's one of those things of, and that kind of brings you to the front page. It's like, you guys promote front page and smaller streamers to the front page, but front page breeds trolls. I can count on one hand the amount of people who have stuck in my channel that weren't a troll from me being on front page. I'm even reading my chat now, I'm reading your chat now. It's kind of just proving my point. Everyone in the comments is saying all this stuff about shutting up and all that, and I'm being a Karen and I'm trying to make this Twitch, but I'm not. I'm trying to make this a platform that succeeds for all kinds of streamers. I want content creators to be able to push the bounds, but in a way that doesn't hurt people and in a way that doesn't breed this kind of negativity. And honestly, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and streamers are getting death threats, and streamers are getting doxxed, and streamers are being swatted. That's dangerous. It's not content. It's something that needs to be stopped. And I feel like you have said, Kick, you have way more of a voice to control this by speaking out against it and making sure to just put a stop to it.
Yes, I think you touch on, so the first thing there, freedom of speech, right? I think Kick has never really sort of gone full like, hey, look, we're a freedom of speech platform. We completely agree that it's a necessity, right? But when it comes to like, you know, people chatting in channels, right? And you know what they say, but by all means, like that's not how we operate. I think there's different viewerships for, you know, when I think that depending on, you've got streamer moderation, you've got chat moderation, right? And I think they're kind of two very, very, very different sort of subjects. I think at the moment, when you kind of mention a lot that around sort of the chat toxicity, you know, normally what we'd say is like, hold on a second, let's, you know, that's kind of the job of the streamer to monitor, right? But I think that the biggest problem that we have at the moment, and we've been talking about this a little bit internally, is the friction towards creating new accounts on Kick at the moment is quite low. The problem is that we ban hundreds of accounts per day for, you know, all those things you mentioned. Doxing, you know, that's not freedom of speech. Like, you know, slurs, that's not freedom of speech, that's hate speech, right? So when I say, you know, when we think of freedom of speech and when we think of like, you know, allowing right content, again, we want to allow diverse content. We want to allow people to enjoy themselves. We don't want to, you know, become this place where we just ban people left, right, and center. But at the same time, we can't allow any of that you're mentioning, right? And that goes without saying. And we are actively banning those kind of accounts. The moment an account doxes, you know, threatens someone, you know, violence, slurs, the whole lot, right? Anything like that, even from not a streaming perspective, but from a chatting perspective, that's an instant account ban. But the problem is people do come back and they create accounts over and over again, which is something that we really understand that we need to work on and do better. So, you know, what we're adding is kind of different layers to the sort of verification you can have in your account, right? So right now you require a verified email to talk in a chat. That's quite easy to do. You know, you go ahead and you add, for example, mobile verification on top of that as well, and suddenly it becomes a little bit more complicated. So people can start adding on different layers to their chat. I think, you know, this is done elsewhere as well, which I think we can really get ahead of and start protecting people against, because, you know, right now I know that there's some people out there who love trolling, and they've probably got like 1,000 Kick accounts, right? They just cycle through, they get banned on, they jump on the next one, and they continue their kind of attacks, right? Which sucks. It makes it difficult as a streamer. Yeah. So you know, I think we've got some ways to fix it up. You know, even in terms of how we can add more flexibility for people in terms of being able to, you know, say that you need to have a Kick account older than a week to chat. You know, extra settings, extra friction for people and streamers to add to, you know, get rid of not this freedom of speech, this actual hate speech, you know, off the platform. That's of course what we're going to aim to give everyone the tools to work with. You mentioned the front page though. You mentioned the front page. This is something we literally sort of put in place almost like 12 hours ago. We've got kind of the team that kind of helps out with sort of, you know, choosing and featuring people. We call it the featured team. They go around, they find, you know, new streamers, you know, upcoming streamers, talented streamers, people we know are creating awesome content, and, you know, obviously sort of put that front page together. But, you know, their remit now doesn't just revolve around choosing people, but also protecting them now. We've kind of added this second job in basically, so whenever you put someone on the front page or, you know, feature someone, whether it's, you know, on the Spanish front page, the English front page, the Polish front page, any front page, you know, they have to kind of monitor the chat as well and be on the lookout for these trolls and stuff. And, you know, obviously you've got your own moderators, but, you know, these people won't just ban them from let's say, you know, the moderators won't just ban them from their chat, but ban them from the whole platform. And again, I think this will slow people down. It's about creating the friction. I think right now there's not enough friction on Kick for these bad actors who, like you said, dox and you know, just you know, really sort of hateful sort of speech, right? Which is not what we want. So, you know, that there is starting as of hopefully sort of the next couple of days. We've kind of come up with a very basic plan around that. I think we have the resources to assist the streamers that get put on the front page, because to be fair, being on the front page is cool. You get this new traffic, but all it takes is one person, one dickhead to kind of come in and start saying a bunch of, you know, distasteful stuff, and it kind of just always ruins the whole stream. So, you know, we don't want to like take what is such a great, you know, feature of Kick and almost let it get sort of cannibalized by just a few trolls. So, you know, we are making movements there. I think the biggest solution to this problem though will be able to add, you know, more different sort of variables in place to slow down you know, the abuse and allowing who can chat in your channel. And we're working on that. It's a feature of sorts, and, you know, basically better moderation tools for you to lean right back on, because a lot of these problems, I think the only way to solve them is through sort of creating a higher sort of wall in which people can actually interact with the chat.
No, I like that. That's an awesome feature, the fact that they can stick around and help. Because, I mean, that helps the streamers mod teams. Because, like, example, like, I know I'm not the only one, but when my streams go up, it's not 1 or 2 trolls. It's usually 20 to 30 whenever I'm on front page.
20 to 30?
So I'm glad that's actually, oh, yeah. It's bad. Most nights, I banned probably about 20 people either saying show tits, off myself. Just, I've had people, like, go into my Discord from front page and post the most gruesome stuff. We've had to, like, up my Discord security, up a lot of my security, just because of it. Whenever we get featured on front page, and as well as it is, and it's good. I mean, I get a good amount of people that come in, and we've met some great community members, but sometimes it just gets overrun, and some people get missed because of that, because the trolls are so heavy that actual new people who are here to be in the stream get kind of lost in the shuffle because we're just so busy banning and trying to ignore all these people. And they come from different chats that get, it's one of those things. And I think that kind of gets me to my next question of how do you feel about Kick being a site for the boys? And I mean, I know you probably see it in your chat, I see it in my chat. I should go back to Twitch. Twitch is for girls. Females ruin Twitch, don't ruin Kick. Kick is for the guys. It's a place for y'all to have a boys club, and this kind of, I'm being too soft, but it's not being soft when you're being threatened. It gets old. It gets old really quick, and it's lazy work when trolls come in and say show boobs every 10 seconds. You're not bothering me, you're just boring me. And it gets to the point of, like, you're killing an entire chat where I can't talk to my own community because you're just a nuisance. And, and I don't know, I could sit here till my face turns blue that I don't want Kick to become Twitch. I don't want that. I wouldn't be here streaming for the past year. I wouldn't have partnered with Kick if I wanted it to become Twitch. I would stay on Twitch if I wanted that. But I want to know your thoughts about, is Kick a boys club? Is this place where that kind of behavior is condoned and that's what you guys want? Because I think it's one of those things, at the end of the day, what you guys want your image to be and what you want Kick to be, everyone is fine with as long as you guys stand by that. You have to have that backbone of, yeah, it is kind of a boys club here. Cool. As long as we know that, then that is what it is. But I don't think that that's what Kick is, and I don't think that's what anyone wants it to become. So I just would love to know your thoughts on that. It's kind of like my last, because I know we're almost out of time, so that's like my last question about everything.
Yeah, no, to answer that, right, that's never, ever going to be the way we want it to be perceived. I think, I get where you're coming from. I think a lot of the larger people who have done quite well have been male to begin with, and I think that has trickled down to a lot of the audience and the viewer economy being very much sort of orientated towards some of those streamers. But I think we certainly don't want that to ever be the case, and I can get it's going to push people out the door, and it's going to literally end up creating removing 50% of the fucking demographic of the world off Kick, which is the last thing we want. We want to support everyone, right? There's by no means that, and I think in terms of what we do as actions and who we support and who we get behind, whether it's even talking about, say, the phase 2, 3, 1, etc. that you're a part of, like, you would have seen pretty much a 50-50 split, male and female. We don't want to create a boys club by any means. How we kind of solve that, how we keep supporting all types of creators. Again, that's a long sort of journey to go on, and it's a mentality which I think we can slowly start to shift. And I think a lot of it does come back to sort of making sure we have the right moderation tools in place to be able to remove these sort of people who come along and just aren't adding any value in terms of what some of these things you've mentioned, right? It's definitely tough. I completely understand sort of where you're coming from, but with from the bottom of my heart, it's by no means what we're aiming to create at all. I like to think that, to be fair, that there is a lot of female creators that I watch, at least, that seem to have really positive and healthy chats as well. Like, I get that it might be something that comes and goes in waves, but I'm right in assuming that a lot of the time your stream is in an amazing place and it has really good energy and good people chatting. Like, it must be the minority of time that there's these trolls that come through, or is it like constant?
I would say it's definitely a minority. I never want to get the wrong question. It's not all the time whatsoever. There's a lot of times where my chat is a really healthy community. It's my community. It's new people are still coming in and finding. And that's the thing, is like all these questions are never in place because I don't like Kick. It's never me saying I hate Kick in any capacity. I want Kick to thrive. I think what you guys are building in the image you guys are trying to create can be the future of streaming as you guys want it to be. We just have to make sure And like I said, I can't stress this enough. It's not even about like over moderating or putting people in a box for content. It's just about finding that sweet spot that keeps it safe. Because I think that should be the goal here. And it's just nice to hear what your plans are about that, because at the end of the day, everything needs to be moderated in some limitation. It's like, yeah, you can do what you want, but laws are in place for a reason. And just making sure that we stick to those and having that backbone and creating that environment that pushes the boundaries without pushing people into dangerous territory. But I would say as far as trolls go, it's mainly the front page. And I think it's really good to hear that you guys are having a second team in place so that when the trolls are heavy, they're there to get them out and permaban them right away. It takes one less, because it's hard with our moderation team. Even my mods or me streaming, it's hard to like stop everything and like report them, try to get them IP banned, save all the screenshots. So knowing that you guys have the second team in place for front page, because I think a lot of your trolls come from front page. They literally sit there and just troll that wheel. And that's what I've heard from a lot of streamers, and they feel the same way, that we love being on front page, and it is such a great opportunity to highlight what we're doing as creators, but it's also that double-edged sword of we know it's gonna get heavily trolled. And that's where a lot of your problem lays. So it's like you have this beautiful thing that needs just, so that second team to moderate is a W in my book, and I'm really excited to hear about that.
Yeah, we'll get that rolled out. I'm gonna hope that's gonna help a lot. It's gonna help a lot. That's an instant kind of win that we can like say we can lock that in almost. And I'm gonna follow up with you specifically to see how that kind of helps out. You know, I think I also need to get a few more moderators for my chat. My chat is absolutely fucking moderatorless. Is there any moderators around here in my chat?
Yeah, I'm watching your chat too, and I'm like,
but yeah, it's a great example.
I love seeing it because it's like, that's the example right there. Everything I'm saying is right there.
Yeah, well, yeah, my chat, unfortunately, I don't think my moderators normally moderate my stake chat, my stake streams, but not my kick one. So it's kind of, yeah, it's not looking great.
It honestly makes me laugh because I'm like, y'all are just
can we have some positivity in the fucking chat, please? You're not helping me.
Like, it's literally proving my point, like everything I'm saying, and it's fine. Like, I don't give a shit what people say about me, Eddie. You know that. I will say it how it is. I don't care.
Yeah, personally, when I stream, I like keeping the chat kind of unmoderated. I don't mind the unhinged comments every now and again. But to be fair, there is some that it's like fucking fully off bounds. You're like, holy shit. But
yeah, and that's, so you're seeing firsthand what you're seeing in your chat comes to my chat on a regular.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of shit that I have to deal with, and that's what I just want to stop. It's I don't give a, trolls are going to be everywhere. Trolls on every single platform. Trolls will never go away. It's the freaking internet.
Well, that's a good point. That's I never want to fall back on the idea of like, oh, we can't solve this because it's everywhere, right? But you know, whether you go to Twitter, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, no matter where you go and no matter where you post, like the reality is like trolls are literally everywhere. That's not an excuse. I think live streaming is very important because live streaming is this kind of tight-knit community which you know needs to embody this kind of sense of safety, right? Because you are so vulnerable when you're live streaming, when you're literally there in front of a camera, real time. You're not editing anything out. You are literally, you know, every second you're on show, right? You're at your most vulnerable. Like there is no like, you know, cut, pause, fucking edit. I want to take a break. Like you got to react in real time and read these comments, and you know, you are in a unique situation. So obviously, the safety at which live streaming needs to be held to compared to that of say, you know, other social media, it's higher, and we recognize that, and we also accept that. You know, Twitter, you can just go block people and fucking delete the posts and whatever, and say fuck you and be done with it. But live streaming, it is different sentiment, right? And you know, with that being said, like at the end of the day, I think it really comes down to each creator what level of tolerance they want to have. Like, you know, me, for example, maybe I don't care so much about the crazy, you know, messages, but someone else does. So, you know, again, allowing us the ability to make sure that the people have that sort of the tools in place to you know, remove the you know, how easy it currently is for these kind of trolls to get past, I think is going to be, you know, certainly the first step, and then just finding more decisive ways of truly getting, you know, people off the platform. I think there's different, the one thing I want to finish on is I think there is different levels to this trolling, right? There's like the trolls that kind of have their opinion on how things should be, and then there's like the people who are like wishing death upon you and like doxing you, and like these ones up here, like we got to get rid of like ASAP, right? Then there's the people who have their own opinion and stuff. I think that's up to like your moderation team to kind of be like, okay, fuck off, like you don't belong here, get out of here. Like, you know, I think it's, again, we got to find that kind of balance between like between like where we ban accounts and ensure they get off the platform versus where we let moderation kind of go, I don't feel comfortable with this.
Right. Like I said, everyone's gonna have an opinion, everybody, and that's fine. And the trolls, like, they're gonna be there. But like you said, I'm glad to hear you say it, because it's just that line. You got to find that line of, is this just trolling or is this dangerous and harassment? Everyone's not gonna like everybody. Everyone's gonna have an opinion on content and streams, and that is what it is. That's never to go away, no matter what. It's just about, like you said, finding that line and that boundary.
I feel like as well, when we start talking about trolls and saying like fuck you to the trolls all come out as well. Like I think we've just exhibited right here the perfect example where we've kind of like summoned them all. So again, don't take this as like the situation.
I'm watching your chat go wham. So that's the thing, like, and I do sometimes when I'm on front page, I do that too, because I'll kind of not instigate, but I'll just like clap back at them because I don't care. And then my mods are like, please, for the love of God, stop! You're just like invoking them to come in.
Yeah. Wait, on that note though, has someone ever come in trolling you and ended up like a proper fan and stuck around as a follower?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
well, maybe it's working to an extent. You can kind of convert people to fans, maybe.
I call those my good trolls because they start out trolling, I troll them back, and they're like, ah, shit. And then they stick around because I think it's fun and it's funny, and then they become like community members.
Well,
so,
yeah.
Not all trolls are bad. Some of you are cool. You're just a little unhinged.
Yeah, honestly, I have a feeling if you kind of take the right approach, yeah, you could maybe convert a few of them, but yeah,
a few. It's a dime a dozen, but
I don't know. I'm kind of reading the chat in parallel here, and I think there's definitely a few people that they feed off this. You can tell that it's kind of like almost a situation where you kind of notice it for 1 second and you get a lot more coming through, but. Yep. But again, I think
if you acknowledge one, they're all like, "Here we are."
Yeah, I know. Well, do you have any suggestions on how Kick can do better on that front?
I think there's a couple things. One, I know when it comes to your reputation, I think a lot of it is reputation based. A lot of people think they can get away with this here, that Kick breeds this, and that this is a space for this kind of trolling and content. I think so. Shifting your image is one thing. And I know in the past year too, I come from a marketing background. Press is press, and when you guys were building, a lot of the press is like, that's good for y'all. Bad or good, it is what it is. But now it's kind of at this pivotal point of like cleaning up that press and taking control of your own narrative. Yeah, you'll always have bad press, but you guys also have control of your own narrative, and I don't think you're capitalizing on that. If you want to shift the public opinion, you need to shift it yourself. You can't expect, like you said, news outlets to do it because they're not going to. They're going to go for the drama. So I feel like you guys really need to help shift it yourself. I think moderating chats, like you said, yes, it's up to the streamer what they're able to do and up to the mods, but also making sure that with that, the platform is given the tools that moderators can moderate better. There's not a lot, and we all know, and I'm not gonna get into like the UI, the API, and all that. I know that you guys have been battered about Kick 2.0 and all the tech, and I'm not going to get into that. But it is one of those things that, like, the better moderation, ways for our mods to have the tools to get through and get the people out that we don't want there. But it's just that bottom line of, I think a lot of these trolls, once you guys help shift your own image, that's going to help trolls be like, okay, well, we don't have a leg to stand on anymore because right now, that's not what Kick is standing for. So I think it's, you guys are at this point of taking that stance and promoting the streamers that you want to represent your image, to promote the news, like, of the good things happening on your platforms. And, you know, that I think will help a lot, as well as the moderation. And then, yeah, I think that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, you made a really, just going back like a minute and a half or so, you made a really good point. Like, I think to begin with Kick, it was like any publicity is good publicity. We'll take it, right? It was kind of this new platform where like, we'll get our name out. But, you know, I kind of mentioned that as well, sort of at the beginning of the conversation. We have changed that approach. It's like, no, we're going on the offensive when it comes to public relations. Like, you know, say a story goes out where it says, you know, Kick streamer did this, Kick streamer did that. We go, nah, hold on a second. Kick streamer did this, Kick streamer got banned, Kick streamer did this. You know, we go and clean up the messaging and, you know, get on the front foot when it comes to media. Because beforehand we're like, fuck it, let's let the media do what they need to do. As long as they're putting Kick out there, it's great. But now obviously that's not a mature approach as the business grows and gets to the latter stages where it's about changing the public perception and being seen as a leader in the live streaming platform sort of industry, right? So, that there will certainly come to fruition. And the tools we've talked about, we're going to get you the tools. We're going to get your moderators, most importantly, the tools. And, of course, our moderation team will be able to also sort of be able to, ensure when they give like a ban out on an account, we can never stop someone from making a new account, but we can make their lives as fucking difficult as we can. That's our goal, like, is to add what we call friction. Like, you can never beat bots, you can never beat people sort of, trying to game the system, but you can add as much friction as possible to it. So that's our job, to try to, sort of counter a lot of that sort of bad behavior that comes with people circumventing your bans or even our bans in the chatting side of stuff. But yeah, I think most importantly, the discussion here has been around sort of the chat moderation side, which I think some people kind of forget about, right? They almost like immediately just only think of moderation as streamer moderation and moderating the content on the website. But the chat moderation side, that is also just equally as important and something that, I think we need to continue to focus on. And whether that's through giving you the right tools or, this featured team, which is hopefully going to be rolled out within sort of 48, 72 hours, which, you're hopefully going to be able to see a notable difference with. But, again, just answering all your questions, we're fully on board towards sort of getting kicked to that, place and making, not just, any streamer feel safe to whatever degree they want to feel safe. If they don't want to feel safe, then they can let their chat run wild. But if they want to feel safe and not be trolled, then that's a fucking simple thing that you want, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you should be able to have a safe sort of place where you don't feel vulnerable and scared to go live. So, we've got your back on that front. A lot of people in chat going, oh, becoming Twitch 2.0. It's not becoming Twitch 2.0. It's just giving people a level of safety and not letting them get, abused, right? So again, it's that's completely different.
That's the thing. It's one thing to the diehard kicks. You do realize, like, you can watch the content you want to watch on here that isn't PG. There's a button for that. You just don't click into the streams that are PG if you don't like it. But for Kick to grow and be successful, you do realize having a place for every streamer to come to be the platform for streamers, you need to make sure that you are opening the door for every streamer to be here, PG or not. That's the point of Kick. And Kick won't become Twitch because they're allowing both sides. If you want to be more PG or if you want to be more edgy, finding that sweet spot is what will make Kick successful. So you guys hating on PG streamers is going to be the downfall of Kick too, because you're gatekeeping yourself to just edgy content, and that won't make Kick the #1 platform. You have to have both sides of the spectrum if you want this to be the top platform for streamers. That is it. You have to give and take both.
Yeah, no, well, that's the thing. I think there's a way to kind of cater to there's balance. Balance is the key. Balance is the key. I think it's not going this level, it's not going that level. It's finding the balance where everyone can kind of feel a level of safety and feel like they're looked after, right? Again, I think we can find a way to keep everyone happy. I think there can be all different types of content on Kick. Kick can, have all different types of creators, all types of different viewers, all types of different communities, and everyone can feel safe at the same time. But again, it's easier said than done. We're going to get there. I promise you we're going to get there. But Miss Savage,
it takes time, and that's the thing. Nothing happens overnight.
Miss Savage, I think we're going about 25. I've kept BBJess waiting 25 minutes now, so I feel terrible. So we're going to have to wrap it up there.
Good. No, I appreciate you answering all my questions. Seriously, I know you guys are doing a lot of work. You guys get a lot of flack no matter which way you guys go. So I do appreciate what you guys are doing. And all I want is for Kick to survive and to thrive the way it can.
Oh, Miss Savage, everything you do for Kick, I truly do appreciate it. Thank you so much for picking Kick, being involved in Kick, helping us out.
Always.
Again, we're going to keep on doing better. We're going to keep on working hard and, keep kind of, as we say, holding our sort of feet to the fire in terms of making us do better, because this kind of feedback and this kind of, these kind of opinions is the only way we're going to get there. So, appreciate you sticking with us despite the difficult times. And I promise you, we'll keep on making slow improvements. We'll get there.
I'll keep you to that promise. So.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Catch ya.
Bye.
Hey guys, MsSAVAGEAF, give her a follow. Listen, you guys, some people in the chat, you're fucking nuts. You're bonkers. Some of you are crazy. Listen, we're trying to talk about being positive and not trolling, and you guys come fucking troll me. What are you doing? You guys gonna have my back here. Fucking hell. You guys are just like killing me here. It's disgusting. I'm sitting here trying to defend Kick, saying we're looking out for trolls, and look at you in chat going bonkers. Like, it's impossible. You're hurting me there, guys. No, but seriously, you got to be nice to people. You know, don't be rude. At the end of the day, like, you got to be kind. You got to be respectful of people. You know, but at the day, trolls are gonna troll, right? Trolls are gonna troll. Kick is for trolls. No, Kick is for everyone. Kick is for everyone. Kick is not for trolls. Kick is not for this. Kick is for fucking everyone, right? That's what we want it to be, right? We want it to be for everyone. Anyway, guys, listen, we've got an incredibly, special guest coming on to finish up as well. I think a lot of you know her. We've had, to be fair, today's sort of lineup has been incredible, but we're finishing off here with BBJess. BBJess is literally a pillar of the live streaming community. She is well known by so many people. Upcoming streamers look up to her. She is attending all the conferences and everything. She is incredibly famous and has been streaming for a long time. She is a Twitch partner that has come to Kick early on, with her crazy karaoke parties, charity events, and, talking about trolls. I think BBJess has an incredible ability to absolutely cut through the trolls. She is an incredibly savvy, business-minded woman who's brokered partnerships with lots of different brands and created her own brand for that matter. She was also the first creator to beta test the KCIP, and she's currently helping us beta test the Kick features this entire month. Again, can't say enough nice things about Jess. Massive fan of hers. Jesse, if you're watching this, you're able to just move down. I want me to move you. Oh, there you go. Hold on, I'll move you. Hey, Jess, you there?
You just glazed me so hard. What the fuck was that?
Hey, I'm did all right, eh?
You sure know how to make a girl feel good about herself. Goodness.
Hey, it's coming from the bottom of my heart, As you know, I'm a big fan. I come by your stream a lot, and I've been following you for a while. So, it is actually incredible to have you here on Kick Talk, and I do very much appreciate you dropping by, Jess.
Thank you. It's so early here. This is bullshit. You live so far away. What is that?
Wait, you're
I woke up at 6 a.m.
Wait, you're West Coast, hey?
Yeah, it's 8:30 in the goddamn morning. I'm sorry, I'm cursing too much. I'm brand friendly. I love Kick.
No, you can curse all you want. To be fair, my language has never been on point. I've been told many, many times by people within the workplace and stuff like that I need to sort of fix my language, but unfortunately, I don't think I've ever been able to. So feel free to be any character you want. That kind of leads me into my first question, actually, that I had for you before I kind of hand it over to you. What?
I was promised 10 gifted. They said 10 gifted to bark.
If they don't give you that 10 gifted, make sure you give me that username. I'll chase that up.
I know. Fucking scam, dude. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry. You go.
When it comes to your content, Jess, you're like, the one thing I've noticed is the way you kind of almost reinvent yourself constantly. Your brand and what you do is pretty rare. Like a lot of people, they'll find success in one area and they'll just stick to it. They won't change. They'll be like, fuck, I've done well with whether it's, for example, your karaoke streams, and they won't never ever change it. You, on the other hand, whether it's every 2 or 3 weeks, you're trying something brand new. You're always kind of brainstorming on Twitter. You want to try this, you want to try that. That's difficult, right? Like what made you sort of aim for this type of content creation? How do you kind of achieve this balance between all these different genres almost?
Oh, dude, I love this. I grew up online. I was like way too young RPing in World of Warcraft. So like I grew up online and I've always loved internet culture. I really loved the anonymity. I'm sorry, I'm high as fuck. Anonymity. I loved being anonymous. I feel like such a dumb bitch for putting my name and my username. Every day I think about it. I was like, I miss the old internet when no one knew who anyone was. And I went to school for theater, for like live performance, directing, producing, like stage stuff. So it just accidentally all worked out that I found live streaming, and it seems like a no-brainer to me. What I like about watching streamers, what I like about watching content is I like the people. if I like someone enough, I'll watch them play any game or do anything. So I just kind of apply that to myself, and I don't stick to one thing. I want to do what makes me happy. And I think people want to see me make myself happy.
I must say, that's one thing. I think when you're streaming, you can tell that you're literally genuinely enjoying like every single second of it. And I get the feeling like when you stop enjoying yourself, you just end the stream, right? Like I kind of get the, like you're there, it's for yourself, and people kind of almost feed off that positive energy, right?
100%. It's fun. It's like a hangout. I stopped calling myself like a content creator a long time ago because it just felt kind of like, I hate the word cringe, but it just didn't feel right. I'm just a streamer. I go live and I hang out with people, and that's a rad job. I want to do this as long as I can.
Yeah, and I think that the whole content creator stuff, yeah, it's kind of almost reminds me of the word like influencer still. Yeah, it's kind of a tricky one to kind of work with. Yeah. What was your job of an influencer or a content creader? I guess, yeah, kind of has a sort of similar sort of ring to it almost. So, but yeah,
if everybody's famous, nobody's famous.
Without using the terminology content creator, I think, you know, when it comes to actually content and what you define as it, I think, you know, obviously you're kind of raising the bar, pushing the boundaries. The amount of people out there that are literally copying what you do, which is obviously the best thing possible. When you see like mini BBJesses out there, I bet that kind of warms your heart when they kind of almost go ahead and...
It's so sick. I'm building an army, dude.
Yeah, no, well, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. You know, I think, you know, obviously following how that all goes, and you know, looking forward to seeing what comes out next, because I'm sure you're going to have a whole bunch of ideas. But Jess, I'll hand it over to you from here. If there's anything at all I can help you with, or Kick in general, like I know that you are quite an expert, quite a veteran in the streaming scene. So I'm more than happy to hear out your thoughts and how Kick can do better, or what you had on your mind maybe.
I came prepared. We came up with a list of questions for CEO Eddie yesterday on stream. None of them make any sense. But okay, can I ask my like most favorite things I want to ask you?
Yeah, of course.
Is KickCon happening? I love live events. I love live conventions. I try to get myself to every live thing I can. When I first started going, like 3 years ago, no streamers went to these events. And I was like, this is such a, like, why is no one doing their job? This seems so obvious. Like, come to events and market yourself here. Like, we should be here. So is there a KickCon coming? Or are you going to come to, like, DreamHack North America? Because Kick sponsors.
Well, I think the one thing we've quickly realized recently, especially sort of with our sort of slight association with DreamHack, has been that there is a really great sort of group of streamers who want to get behind Kick, want to join these events. Like I think the most recent one, there was, you know, 200, 300, 400 Kick streams. I don't know the exact number, but it wasn't exactly a KickCon. But that in itself is almost like a Kick convention, right? I've been saying this for a while. If we've got to do a KickCon, like it has to be done right. You know, it has to be done properly. It has to not be kind of this thing which we kind of almost go into with this half sort of arsed approach. Like we want to make something really solid, something really special. You know, I think that's going to be, you know, first and foremost, and also making it, you know, a proper streaming convention, right? I think that's got to be what it has to be about. It can't just be partying and all this kind of like wild stuff. There has to be a really core sort of, you know, foundation to it as well, which we want to make sure we get right. You know, when that happens, I couldn't give you a date, but will it happen? Most certainly. I think there's already enough people there that want to come and be a part of the community and come to these, especially in North America. So, you know, I don't think it's a question of will it be, but when it will be. But it'll be more so around making sure that we have the right resources, the right planning, the right team involved to make it, you know, come to life and be something that people go like, wow, that was actually really cool and was a great experience. And, you know, when that kind of comes along, I'm sure some people like yourself will be the first people kind of going towards and asking for help and assistance and understanding sort of, you know, what works and how to kind of almost shape these events to be exactly that, you know, memorable, right? So, you know, I think you'll be one of the first people to know when KickCon or whatever we end up calling it for that matter is kind of in the works.
Sick. I told this guy in my chat that I'd ask you for money for him, but I'm not going to do it, and it's really pissing him off, and I'm having a real good time over here. Get fucked, Nino. Aha, no one's tipping you, buddy. I also, okay, so I feel like maybe that was a great answer, by the way. Great job.
I'm not helping your trolls out. I'm not feeding them. That's my way of dealing with the trolls.
Dude, I like that about Kick. I've always kind of seen Kick as like the MTV to Twitch's like Nickelodeon. Like streaming on Kick feels like a different game entirely than it does streaming anywhere else. And I personally like that challenge. I feel like I get to be more authentically myself by talking to adults the way I would talk to adults. I don't have to be careful not to upset someone by telling them to just fuck off. I'm afraid to even say on Twitch, like, fuck off, because I don't want to get banned for bullying and harassment, which is like something they would get me for. So I love that about Kick, and I've always seen Kick as more of like a place to hang out. I feel cool that I get to like smoke weed here and talk to people and talk shit. Going off of that, what kind of like brands do you see, if any, working with Kick? Because I mean, I think it would make like a no-brainer would be like get Kick at the X Games, get Kick with like, you know, with MTV, fucking the Jackass crew, with like maybe not edgy content. Maybe you don't want to lean into that, but maybe there's something to do there. It sounds like fun.
You mean sort of in terms of people that we as a platform would work directly with, or sort of creators sort of leaning on sort of creating partnerships with them, or at least, you know, creating the avenue for creators to work with them?
I would appreciate the avenue to have access to that. That's huge. If a platform can be the middleman for the creators, that's above and beyond. I was just more asking, like, who do you see Kick adjacent to? Like, what's your vision of it?
Yeah, when it comes to brands and which ones we kind of get behind and work with, you know, obviously from a financial perspective, right? When we introduce advertising, when we introduce, you know, sponsors on a broader scale, right? Kick needs to be able to work with as many different advertisers, many different sponsors as possible. We realize that's not going to be possible. We understand what Kick is and where it's at, and with the fact that we don't want to, you know, level, you know, we're talking about moderation before. We understand before how we need to do better with moderation, but at the same time, we know we don't want to go up here with moderation, right? We get that. And as a result of that, we're never going to be able to work with certain advertisers. We already know that, right? We already get that. But, you know, on the back of that, we like to think, you know, for the same reason you mentioned before, we're going to have sort of more viewership in people who may be a little bit more, you know, leaning towards a different type of content. Like you said, MTV, I think, is such a great example in terms of what to kind of expect, right? You know, on the back of that, I do think that there are a lot of brands that don't have that high sort of, you know, caliber of requirement in terms of what they want to be associated with. You know, what those brands look like at the moment, I'll be honest, like we're not in the phase right now of kind of looking straight towards, you know, monetization and sort of working with these brands. So it hasn't been something that I can probably fully comment on for that reason. You know, right now our primary goal is getting market share. Stay away from ads
for as long as you can. Please stay away from ads. It's so sick. I spend all of my time watching Kick just because there are no ads. I love no ads so much.
I must say, like, after using Kick for quite a while, if I try to watch other streams, I kind of can't because
I won't even sit through a 30-second pre-roll ad. I'm like,
it's not 30 seconds. It's like 3 minutes now. That's the problem.
It's always 3 minutes.
But it's like fucking 3 minutes after like 8 minutes. It's kind of like you end up spending like you're literally consuming like 20 minutes of ads for every hour, and like. They're not exactly that well targeted either. Like I get these ads, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching this ad for? Like you got the wrong person, dude.
Every time. Every time.
But with that said, it will come eventually. But again, I always say this, like it's a long way off. It is a long way off, and our goal right now is just to build the platform out. So. And I do think that's a big thing that people sleep on, is the fact that like when you're streaming, if your viewers get hit with like, you know, 3 minutes of ads, like you're going to lose like at least 1% probably, or maybe like 5 even, or even 10 if they caught you at a bad time. Like if those ads start running and you know, you weren't exactly at exactly where you wanted to be in the live stream, that could be like, oh, I'm out of here. There goes, you know, a good portion, right? So, you know, definitely making the most of that for as long as possible. But again, that's not a sustainable long-term plan, and it will change eventually. Hopefully, you know, done in a different way. I've kind of always said, like, we want to kind of find this balance between just throwing pre-rolls, mid-rolls, and all that kind of stuff, and you know, find a way to kind of integrate brands in a much, you know, I think when it comes back to your question was in collaborations, right? And obviously you mentioned your partnership with Steak, right? You mentioned your partnership with Steak that's upcoming as of today, right? And you know, I like to think when you start advertising Steak, you know, you'll be advertising that in a very normal approach, right? You won't have to change who you are. You will continue to be yourself, and I think your viewers will probably stay exactly the same, even though you're going to spend 1 hour doing almost a sponsored advertisement, right? It's pretty much what it is. It's a sponsored advertisement for 1 hour, but you're probably going to keep almost all your viewers because you get to be yourself, you get to be BBJess, you continue to interact with your chat, and they get to enjoy that, right? I think that is how, you know, again, we've been on this side of the fence. Steak has been on this side of the fence of advertising and collaborating with live streamers for you know, over 4 or 5 years now. And I think that's kind of, you know, where the most value comes because people, the viewers, are engaged whilst also consuming an advertisement. I think there's way more different. I think of other industries and how they can integrate into live streaming. I'm like, why are they not doing this? Like they could have so much success if they didn't try to like put their 30-second ad in the middle of the live stream and they worked with the streamer to create like a great plan that was scalable across many other streamers. And you know, again, that's kind of what our vision is to an extent, is trying to link up these brands, show them, okay, this is kind of how you could work with these streamers and getting the right streamers engaged with them, and then, you know, putting together actually powerful advertising campaigns that actually convert consumers, because I think a lot of the time you're not going to see conversions of that typical advertising front. So, you know, again, to that point, I think it's about identifying those key people that you're mentioning and then working with them and then linking them up with the streamers, and that will be a very powerful avenue of you know, not only helping people like yourself but the advertisers as well.
That's a sick, yeah. And what makes it even better is that I'm KCIP. So like, it feels like it's like a full circle experience of a streaming thing. Like how cool that I have that support while I get to do that and work with brands like that's sick. How do you feel knowing that people use your AI voice in TTS specifically to troll me right now while I'm talking to you? Is that so strange that there are AI personalities of you on the internet?
Yeah, I remember when I first heard that and I was like, fuck, they did a really good job. It actually sounded like exactly like me. It almost, I feel like if you didn't know that was AI, you'd think I was almost in the call. So I was pretty impressed with it. Personally though, I've got no issues with it. I kind of take it as like a bit of a compliment almost, maybe the same way you thought it was pretty cool when people kind of go ahead and they kind of do everything that you do when you live stream. Like, oh fuck, people want to use my voice. I'll take that. That's sick. So I've got no issues with that as long as people hopefully understand that it's kind of not me, but I'm guessing most people do.
Can I there's like an actual dog barking. That was not me this time. Can I pitch a crazy idea to you that I know realistically is completely financially not possible, but it's my dream, so I want to speak it?
Yeah, well, if you're telling me it's not possible, then I'm gonna set the expectations where they probably should be then. But I'm more than happy.
Good. I just want to get you ready. Okay. I want live translated captions on streams. Most of Kick during the day for me is people streaming in Spanish, or mostly I watch a lot of French streamers and I have a hard time doing Google Translate back and forth. I try my best, but I think it would be so sick if Kick could be the platform that could implement some kind of like, at least for like maybe a base 12, 10 languages, like the most popular languages at first. And I know it's difficult with slang and I know like certain things don't translate correctly, but I just really want to watch the French streamers and I want to talk to them.
The French ones in particular, hey?
Yeah, tough.
Yeah, no, so it's an interesting subject, that one. So obviously right now, I believe that the technology and where kind of translations in real time is at can most certainly translate VODs. Like that is a solved problem. Like that's easy. The hard thing about translations and using, you know, the current technology that's available is obviously that real time component of live streaming. So obviously you need to kind of, you know, take the input of the language and then translate it and then output it kind of almost within like 3, 4, 5 seconds, which is kind of from a technical standpoint, quite difficult. From what I understand, there's kind of proof of concepts that have been done across sort of Korean and Japanese and a couple of languages. Again, this isn't Kick doing that, but I know that there are proof of concepts around that. My only thing is I think it is quite expensive to run. The computing required to sort of translate and use these tools in real time isn't cheap. So it is definitely a financial sort of component to it. But you know, if we're able to kind of add it for specific streamers and maybe even enable it only for specific viewers, or find a way to kind of balance that out. And again, to be fair, it's not even that unreasonable. Like obviously the way technology is advancing and how it's kind of moving ahead with everything that's going on in the world right now, like these problems are becoming, you know, easier to solve as time goes on. So honestly, like that is a really reasonable ask. And obviously you see Kick right now during the day, like it'll be, I think it's like 70% non-English, right? Which is great. We love working with all the Spanish creators. We love the French creators. We love the German creators. We love the Portuguese, the Arabic creators. Like there is some really great creators out there. And if we could bridge the gap and let English people enjoy that content in real time with translations, that would be so big for us based upon the demographics that we're attracting. Not to mention how incredible it would be for all these Spanish streamers, all these Spanish viewers, you know, Arabic viewers, Turkish viewers, all these people on the platform to be able to understand you, right? That would be the biggest thing. Imagine like suddenly your audience is no longer like 1 billion English speaking people. It's like 7 billion people. Like suddenly with this, like your audience has like 7x, right? And I have a feeling they'd be like super intrigued into like, what is this crazy girl doing karaoke saying, right? Like, you know, what's going on here? Like people will be like super intrigued. So again, it's not even unreasonable at all. It is definitely very not very efficient as far as costing goes at the moment. But I think we're going to keep our eyes on that constantly. And if we can get that sorted at some point, it would be absolutely amazing. But again, I've got to be very careful promising too much stuff because we got some much bigger problems to solve for the time being. We got to get that whole platform parity stuff done first. But this would be incredible as well.
Okay, 2 more things so quick. One, another pipeline dream. Can we poach all the good IRL streamers from everywhere else and bring them to Kick? Because I love that Kick is so strong with IRL. DGen content or not, that's what I watch. I love watching people go out into the world. I think it's a different avenue of streaming than just sitting down in front of a computer. I think it's almost like a different art form in itself, being an entertaining person in public. So is that a priority at all for Kick? Is that something you guys like value on Kick?
Why have you IRL streamed yet?
I get nervous. I feel bad streaming other people in public, but I love watching it.
No, well, that's a great question. So I've spoken about this quite a bit, right? Obviously IRL and the whole content around it is, I like to think it's endless, right? The possibilities of IRL streaming are literally endless. Like you can do, you know, games and stuff are limited, you know, podcasts are kind of limited, but, you know, you suddenly go out into the real world and start interacting with all these different kinds of environments, all these different countries. Like literally the content never ends. Like you can do anything, and the stuff that's kind of coming up and the ideas that are getting thrown around are super exciting. Of course, as you mentioned, I think IRL kind of got associated with a lot of DGen stuff, but at the same time, you know, there is a lot of incredibly wholesome stuff as well. And I think that the biggest complication with IRL streaming has been how you moderate it. There's just so many uncertainties. You walk out into the world, suddenly you can have someone just like flash their tits, right? Like that can happen. Like how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
Like that there is that a bannable offense? If someone comes up to the camera and says a slur, do you ban them? Like again, I think that's where Kick is obviously a little bit more sort of progressive in the way we kind of think. We obviously take moderation a little bit differently, which allows for IRL streaming to flourish, right? Like suddenly IRL streaming has become a lot more feasible, and it's something that we want to continue to back. We don't want to be known just for IRL streaming. We want to support gaming. I've got to be so careful when I say this because we want to support gaming. We want to support, you know, people doing, you know, just chatting streaming, and we want to support all creators. But IRL is definitely something that we see as being a section which could be so much bigger. Like it could be so huge. It could be way bigger than gaming. It could be way bigger than any other type of content creation if it's given the right sort of, you know, the right ability to grow without being almost sort of like shut down whenever it gets kind of a little bit too spicy almost. So yeah, to answer your question, we want to invest in that category. We see that people do better when they come to Kick and do IRL content than any other platform. Like they see more success. So naturally, it just makes the most sense to really grow out that category. Now it's a separate category, the just chatting as well. You know, you can see there's always kind of in that top 10 on Kick. Sometimes it's got like even 100,000 people watching it when some of the Spanish guys are out doing IRL content. So yeah, we gotta bring them over. But Jess, you're the one who knows everyone. You need to help us bring them over. Can you hook us up?
I'm trying my best, dude. You know how it is. You know, people, you know. I mean, I've been here a year and a half and I've nothing's changed. I mean, everything's been better. I have creativity differences that I get to do over here. I have freedom of movement. I can do whatever I want whenever I want. It's sick. I love it here. Oh, my camera overheated. Oh, fuck. It's so hot in California. This place sucks. Hold on.
Your
I
camera
got
just
a little
literally overheated?
webcam here. Oh, yeah. Here we go. And I can do this. 1 second. Sorry, here we go. And it's done. Yeah, no, it's just hot in California. I think this is a good time for me to dip out. I think I broke it.
The camera's decided not to cooperate. Oh, wait, there we go. We got you now. You're almost
there
back.
We are. This shit's broken. So, yep.
Oh, there we go. Now it's working.
Yep. Anyway, thank you very much for chatting with me.
Jess, absolute honor to have you on Kick Talk. Thank you so much. Hope that everything on Kick goes well. We're always one message away. If you got any suggestions, anything we can do better, any of those IRL streamers that you think we should bring on over as well, like maybe tag me in a message or send me a DM about which ones you reckon would be good take, because that's a really good point as well. But guys, if you're not already following BBJess, show her some love on Kick. Get on her stake stream. I have a feeling she might be giving away a bit of money by the sounds of it if she took my advice. So there could be some.
I got $200 right at the start. Let's go.
$200 straight off the bat. Beautiful. Awesome.
Straight off the bat.
All right, Jess. Thank you so much for coming on so early. I do really appreciate it.
Yeah, and Kick gets a bad rep a lot, but it's a sick place. I've been here a year and a half. I wouldn't have stuck around if there wasn't something worth sticking around for. So as bad as I'm sure you get all the bad feedback, there's also a lot of there's so many great people here. I prefer hanging out with people from Kick after parties at conventions than I do on Twitch. It's a cool vibe of cool adults doing cool shit. So thanks for making that.
All right, that means a lot coming from you. Thank you, Jess.
Yeah, cool. See ya.
See ya. Alrighty, Kick Talk episode 4. Thank you so much to all the people that came on. We had an incredible lineup today. I didn't have Andrew with me today, so I've kind of been struggling to keep up with a lot of the other stuff. But Shakty, MsSavage, and BBJess, 3 very different types of conversations. 3 very different approaches to live streaming, but of course, again, kind of leaning back on the same idea that Kick is for everyone. And again, we're trying to work with all different types of people. So it's so great to have them come along. Difficult discussion with MsSavage. I must say, you guys fucked me as well in the way you trolled, the chat. I'm going to need to get some moderators there. You guys making my life hard, but awesome conversation with both Jess and MsSavage around sort of Kick and its sort of, reputation and stuff, which we're going to keep on working towards. We're going to do some really cool stuff on that front. But also Shakty, I think, is the guy that if you're not following yet, give him a follow. He mentioned that he's literally going to walk from Sydney to Melbourne. Like I quite frequently fly from Sydney to Melbourne, and it's a long way. Like it's like a decent 1 hour plane flight. Like he's walking that, so I'm certain that's going to be a tough gig for him to do. And I hope he raises a whole bunch of money for the people of Lebanon with his fundraiser there. It's such an awesome initiative. But I tell you what, as always, maybe finish off with a few questions from the chat. The host come back. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying host comeback. Maybe I'll show comeback a host. I feel like people have been saying this like since I started the stream 4 hours ago. Can you see Kick channel being an NGO? You mean, is Kick going to accept NGOs on the platform? Yeah, most certainly. Do we want to label them? I don't know whether we would need to label them, but maybe. Eddie, can we get a viewer list? We're going to have a viewer list. We're not going to have like, I think we're going to make it so that people can kind of like opt in and opt out of it though, but like maybe by default, you know, you'll be opted out and then you can choose to opt in. I think like keeping viewer list is like, you want to keep privacy. Like me personally, I love watching a lot of streams, but I don't want people to know I'm there because when I'm there, people kind of act a little bit differently sometimes and I feel like I'm kind of intruding. You know, again, I'm sure that goes for a lot of people who watch streams. I think like having the privacy when you watch a stream is really important. So again, how we kind of find that balance, but that's coming, but that's also in relation to channel points too. So to kind of just go back to some of these like product stuff, like the way that we're introducing channel points is obviously in order to give points to people on a channel, you need to know who's in the fucking channel, right? And you need to be able to link that all. So again, that's all kind of the same update that's being pushed along right now in the background. And you know, will allow us the ability to sort of, you know, publicize people who want to be publicized for viewer lists. So that's going to happen. We just need to find that balance again, because we don't want someone accidentally joining a stream and then copping some you know, unwanted attention or vice versa. Will Kick always stay advertiseless? No, it won't. Kick will have advertising at some point, but honestly, it's probably not for like a year or two. Like Kick, before we introduce advertising, like Kick will have to grow a lot. We have a long way to go. Right now, we want to create the best streaming experience, right? But we also want to create the best viewer experience. And I must say, not having ads is probably the most powerful thing to creating the best viewer experience. Like not just having to wait through like 3 minutes of ads every 8 minutes is huge. Again, we lack on the product side, like the product, the app and stuff, the TV app, the console apps, all that kind of stuff needs to come in, because without that, like it's still not the best viewer experience with sucks, but you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. You know, probably a year or two for ads, honestly. I can't put a number on it, but we'll give people at least six months notice before we start running ads, and we'll roll it out in a way that is you know, that is transparent with the community and kind of, you know, resonates with how people want advertisements to be on their channel. Would love to be a part of one of these Kick talks. Yo, get in contact. Let's make it happen. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. I think we're trying to bring on as many different type of people. I think like the next sort of Kick talks, we're going to try to bring on some you know, I'm thinking almost we bring on some like the really vocal, like anti-Kick people. Like there are some people out there who fucking hate Kick, and I'd love to bring them on Kick Talk and just chat to them. You know, I think, you know, my goal is to take some of those people who just like flat out are like, fuck Kick, Kick is the worst, it's the da-da-da of live streaming, and just have a good chat with them. You know, I think currently we're bringing on lots of partners, but we want to bring on like the non-believers, the haters. Like I want to chat with them and just understand, like, why do you fucking hate us so much? Like, why do you sit on Twitter trolling us all fucking day? Like, well, I want to know, like, how do we make you happy? So, you know, we want to mix it up a bit. I want to talk tech with me. My technical skills, like I've been in tech for quite a while. I'm probably not the greatest person to talk tech with, but I can definitely tell you the broader vision. When it gets to the details, tech is 100% not my remit, and I will be the first to acknowledge that. But again, I love the roadmap and understanding more. I try my best to keep up with it all. I've got to be careful I don't read out a question that is not great. Kick is amazing, but the updates takes ages. Other than that, 10 out of 10 site. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, we definitely. Oh, Gamducks, appreciate the host, mate. Much appreciated. Yeah, the updates are slow at the moment. We kind of touched on this on the previous Kick Talk episode. A big reason the updates are a little bit slower right now is that we're kind of like, you know, again, working on the foundation behind Kick. Almost kind of rebuilding in the background. Yeah, a lot of good technology takes time to build, and we've got. So I think I previewed a bit about Kick V2 Web last week. I was going to actually preview a little bit of Kick V2 Mobile today, but I got asked if I could wait a week or two just until we iron out a couple of extra things. So I'm looking forward to showing that off. But yeah, there's no denying it's been taking a while for us to get our updates out, but when they do come, like again, this was what we were talking with Dave about last week. When they do come and we do release like some of these new things that we have in the pipeline, you're gonna be like, fuck, that's good. That was worth the wait, you know? You don't want a situation where like, oh man, you know, that was all right. Like we want people to go, okay, wow, this is out now. This works perfectly. This is not just as good, it's better than competition. And people go, okay, we get why you made us wait. So that's our goal with that, but we're gonna get there. We need to go faster. We're moving as fast as we can. V2 app is exciting. Yeah, it's fucking exciting. It's awesome. I must say the current Kick app is built in a way which, you know, if you're technical, you'd understand, but it's more or less a browser in an app, right? And that's not good enough. You know, the Kick V2 app is far more sort of native in its sense of how it's being built and much better user experience. It will feel so smooth. You know, when you navigate through an app, you just want to have that smooth feeling and performance and anyway, yeah, that's all solved in Kick V2 app. I'm looking forward to it. Eddie, when is Kick going to sign me? Don't know. Maybe they could sign you today. Maybe we could sign you tomorrow. You never know, right? Kick is definitely the best place. If you want to make streaming your full-time career, if you want to make streaming into something that's a viable income, then Kick is the only place right now truly being able to support that from a platform perspective. So yeah, I would say that you know, your best bet is to continue working with us, whether through KCIP or direct partnership. You know what that means, I'm not sure for you, but by all means, we're for the creators and we're looking after people. So maybe that comes soon. That's facts. Hey Nat Chat, it's good to see you here. Eddie, will you ever increase 8,000 kbps bitrate? I promise you it's important for future. Yeah. So I think 2K, 4K streaming is all very much on the roadmap right now. It's all coming. We want to roll that out. That's something which exists in live streaming, like YouTube has it. I think, you know, Twitch is playing with it a little bit. You know, for that to be achievable, we need more than 8,000. Sorry, we need more than 8,000 bitrate. But I think there's some limitations in place that we just need to discuss with some of our partners on that front. But yeah, we want to get that done. I need to come chat to you, sir. Yeah, we need to make that happen, Nat Chats. We're going to make that happen. I've got 2 people so far. I promise that we're going to get you on Kick Talk. Big opportunity on Kick, without a doubt. Praying and working for mine daily. Fuck yeah, man. We're like I said on our previous Kick Talk, the biggest thing, right, is, you know, the people that are putting faith in Kick, we can't let you guys down. We're not going to let you guys down. We're not. We're gonna get there, and you know, we hope that the people like yourself who are like putting in the effort right now, you're going to be like, hey, I was there when it was this thing that people didn't take seriously, but hey, look, I was right. You know, you guys can say that with us almost and get to reap the benefit of being early adopters, right? I think that's kind of the upside to taking this little bit of a risk, but you know, I wouldn't even call it a risk. It's just you know, it's almost when rather than will, you know, Kick manage to make the change that it requires for you guys to, you know, get where you want to go as creators or even as viewers looking to enjoy themselves. Eddie, will you add whispers or private messages to the site? Nah, we won't do that. I don't think, well, listen, I can't say never, but it's not roadmap. We're not working on that feature. Right now, like I think Discord, if you want to like talk to people directly, like there's Discord and all that kind of stuff, people have those ways. Like I don't think it's streaming platforms where you do direct messaging. It's maybe we'll change our stance on it, but it's not being worked on right now. It's not being worked on right now, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of issues with moderation that comes around that we've always identified. And again, I don't think Kick is the platform where you use as like a social messaging platform. There is other platforms to talk to people directly. Do you support? Yeah, I support all content, man. I support all content. As long as it's been TOS. Eddie, will Kick support ever improve? Anytime we go through the email process, it's always automatic responses. I'd love to come into Discord and talk to the Kick support. I don't think that's true. The Kick support team should be, you know, really great. I think we have a really good team. A lot of the Kick support team is you know, probably watching this stream right now, and I don't think they write automatic responses. I think if you ask a question that they can't answer, they're going to give you the same response. There's a limitation in what they can work within, right? Like they either have the answer or they don't, or they need to go get it. So I think it depends on what kind of question you're asking, honestly. But yeah, I think the support team is great. They should almost be instant responses. Like you email support@kick.com. If you email support@kick.com right now, I'm pretty sure you get a response within like 5 minutes. The API is a lie. There is an API on Kick right now. Kick already has an API. That's like the biggest misconception. Like Kick obviously has an API. Fucking every website that interacts with a front end or any kind of user interface has an API, right? Like there's endpoints which you can publicly use. So that's how Botrix, that's how Kick bots, so Kick tools and all these kind of other bots work. But yeah, we need a public and a documented API, one with proper governance and proper rules around how it's going to be used. We discussed a bit about that last week. What's an API? Yeah, I don't know, man. What is an API, Babs? I think you know. Eddie, what's the best way to get in contact with you for Kick Talk? Probably through Andrew. So Andrew kind of organizes these Kick Talks from in terms of like guest perspective. He's kind of the man behind the scenes doing a lot of this work. But a lot of the time I kind of go to Andrew. I'm like, yo, make sure you bring this person on. They're awesome. So maybe just like, even I like see people on Twitter like saying something and being like, hey, look, we should bring this person on. Like even like MsSavage, for example, right? I think MsSavage put out a really great tweet where she's like, hey, Kick, I'm having these problems with moderation and you guys aren't doing good enough. And we were like, fuck, we need to bring MsSavage on Kick Talk. Let's talk about this. The idea behind Kick Talk is we want to kind of bring up, not just like, same with, same with how we brought Shakty on, right? We saw Shakty was doing this like incredible streaming stuff. We're like, we need to bring Shakty on. Or we saw that MsSavage was having issues with Kicks. We're like, we need to bring MsSavage on. And obviously, the idea behind this is to kind of bring on people who are, got stuff that's going on right now to talk about them, right? And kind of, talk about what's happening on Kick right now, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's just, somewhere in between. But I think that's kind of how we're trying to bring these discussions forward. What happened to Abs? Why did he leave before Kick V2? Abs recently resigned. I think he put a tweet out. Listen, at the end of the day, right? I think working in streaming is like it's hard work, and it takes you have to almost like dedicate a lot of your life. I think at the end of the day, depending on what he wants to do for a career. I think Abs honestly he's probably more of a streamer than on this side of the fence. I reckon he'll end up becoming a big time Kick streamer now that he's got a bit more spare time. He's he's a really entertaining guy. But yeah, he's still probably going to remain in contact with a lot of Kick staff and still part of the family. But at the end of the day, just like anything, people leave jobs, man. People leave jobs and want to move on to other stuff, and that's absolutely fine. Big W Abs. Abs is an absolute legend. So lots of love to Abs, and we'll still see him around. Eddie, when will you guys deal with suspenders? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Eddie. Clipping streamer clips is so awkward. Is improvement in the works? Yeah, the clip system is a little bit scuffed. I know there's some problems with it. We need to optimize that feature. It's a good user experience. It's just got a few little bugs in it. I promise you, we know that. We're going to get it done. We just have some more foundational things we need to fix up first, and then clips are going to get sorted. They're going to be more reliable. They're going to be sorted. Trust me. I apologize for any issues with clips at the moment. Eddie, can you add a like button to streams? We probably could. Do we need to? I'm not sure. Probably not the best use of resources right now. I think again, we need to kind of focus on the stuff that we need to get done. There's definitely a lot of things that Kick is truly missing. Are we missing the like button right now? I'm not sure, but I think there could be other ways to kind of identify like what is going on within a stream right now. Like each stream has a viewer count, and that's about it. Like there's just a number of viewers, so maybe like a number of likes or number of interactions of some sorts could be another metric that you use to kind of sort streams by. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, but who knows? Maybe we could do that. What else is there? Eddie, drink some water. You have dry mouth buds. Stay hydrated. Good point. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Compare your viewers and chat to Sam Pepper's. Well, I'm literally asking people to like ask me questions, right? I'm fully engaging with chat, so it's always going to be a bit different. Eddie, how do I pay for subs through crypto? Is that on the way? I spoke about this a bit before. We could do crypto pretty easy. Like, it's no secret that we're Stake and Kick are pretty, similar relations in terms of ownerships. Crypto is easy. We just don't want to create rumors that yeah, crypto gets a bad rap sometimes. Crypto gets a bad rap. Maybe we'll add it. It'd be very easy to do. We know how to do that, but we don't want to kind of like intertwine the two businesses. There was always like, I remember when Kick first launched, everyone's like, oh, Kick is just fucking a funnel for stake. It's nothing else. It's this and that. It's basically an extension of stake. Obviously that rumor died down now and people don't really talk about that anymore because we, proved them wrong. But we don't want to give anyone an excuse to say, look, they're adding crypto, they're becoming a casino or something. So, we tried to create as much distance between stake and crypto and casino just to prove people that, hey, look, Kick's like a separate project. So that's probably why we haven't added crypto yet. Eddie, can you please do some IRL streams? Man, that's scary. Maybe one day. I'd love to do IRL streaming, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe. I'll see. I don't think I'd be very good at it. To be honest, the standard of IRL streaming and the amount of energy and effort that goes into it is crazy right now. It's pretty competitive. Like I'm scared I wouldn't live up to expectations. But maybe I'll do some IRL streaming. Massive shout out to anyone that does IRL streaming. You guys are doing a great job. It would be such hard work. Eddie, do you play any games? Not as much as I'd like to. I want to find a good game to get dug into, but I have troubles. I want to do more gaming. Maybe I'll do a gaming stream at some point. I'll probably do a gaming stream before I do an IRL stream. Will we be able to ever listen to streams with our phone screens turned off like Twitch and Rumble? I think you can listen to, so if you open a stream on the app and then you lock your screen, you can still hear the sound. Like that already exists. I'm like 99.99% sure. Like I will open a stream right now on my phone. Okay, so I've opened a stream right now. I've got MsSavage's stream up. I'm now gonna close it. Here we go. Yeah, I've just closed it and I can still hear it. It's still working. Yeah, no, you definitely can do that. That does work. To be fair, there's a lot of shit wrong with the app, but that works. Only on Android? Oh, maybe it's iOS and I don't know. I don't have Android, but no, it should work on Android. We need Kick out on TV. Yeah. I think we put like a small little demo out of Kick TV. It's looking good. I know Kick TV would be huge. Right now, obviously, you can like Chromecast or AirPlay to a TV, but that's kind of not the greatest experience. It kind of sucks. Well, it doesn't suck. It's just, adds a bit of friction to it. But we're going to get that done. The TV apps are like already like nearly ready to go again. It comes back to the same philosophy of like when we get something out the door, we don't want it to be like, yeah, we got it out the door for the sake of getting out the door. It's like we got it out the door because we know it's the best level it could possibly be at, and that's where we want it to, there's no more improving on it after that. Like, well, sorry, there is improving on it, but at that point, it's not kind of going to be a constant iteration of people coming back and be like, you missed this, you missed that, you missed this, you missed that. It's going to be like, oh, fuck, they kind of nailed it. So that's why it's taking a little bit more time, but we're going to, yeah, the TV apps, very, very important. Will you be watching ISIS Hunger Games? Yeah, I'll be watching it. Of course I'll be watching. I'm really looking forward to it. Again, I think, this comes back to this topic we had before about like, IRL streaming. It's got so much potential. The Hunger Games is just one example of all this potential that IRL streaming has. I think it's super cool that ICE is doing these kinds of things in the scavenger hunt and all these kind of different concepts like, the sky is the limit. Again, be safe. I hope no one gets hurt. Like my biggest worry about the Hunger Games, and I've said this to ICE, is like fucking no one better get hurt. Like you need to be super careful and make sure you've got all the right measures in place. But as long as that's under control, then I think it's incredible. Incredible ideas. Ice is really autistic. These challenges he's doing a dog shit. I don't know. I think they're alright. I think they're really cool. I fuck with it. I don't know. I think so. Is the F1 team going to improve, or are they just going to settle for coming last? Yeah. I think they're having fun. I think that's all that matters. They're having fun. Oh, someone is 100% getting hurt. LMFAO. I hope not. I don't think so. I think the definition of hurt, right? I think like there might be a little bit of pain, but there better not be anything serious, you know? And I think the biggest thing about the Hunger Games that ICE has is like, you know, medics and medical sort of resources on hand in case in you know, the hopefully unlikely situation that anything does go wrong, that the, you know, right preparations have been made to make sure that everyone is well looked after. Add Kick to PlayStation so we can stream from it. Yeah, we got to do that. That's console apps, TV apps, new iOS, Android apps, you know, all kind of the same work stream that we're working on right now. It's all the same team that's working on device coverage that is incredibly important. Eddie, thank you for creating such an amazing space for creators to come talk. No other place gives creators this chance. It means a lot, BBJess. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's exactly what we're trying to create. And, you know, comments, messages like that is why we keep on doing it and why we're going to keep on doing it for many years to come, because I fucking love live streaming. You know, the whole team here at Kick, we love live streaming, and we just want to keep on, you know, giving live streamers and people who enjoy watching live streamers the best possible, you know, experience from all angles. That's our mission, that's our vision, right? So, you know, we're gonna keep on at it and appreciate those kind words. Could we potentially see the stream teams implemented? Stream teams, yeah, we could certainly get that done. I think that's quite an easy update to do. I think it depends on how you implement. I think the most powerful thing about implementing stream teams is making sure that, like, for example, if you end your stream and like another member of your stream team is online, that like you automatically kind of host them and send your viewerships, because I think it's about kind of sharing these viewerships is most important. So I think more so than creating a stream team, but allowing you kind of almost to automatically host people in an order, I think that is really, really powerful. So that way you can, like, you know, for example, you and a group of 10 streamer friends, like you make sure that you kind of always have that audience like going to the right place. You know, I think that's something that we want to add. You know, if that's in the form of stream teams, I don't know what it looks like exactly, but yeah, growth as a community, exactly, right? Like it's quite a simple thing. It's not that complicated. Hey, thanks for the gifted sub there, Phantom Shock. Appreciate that, man. How late is it for you, Eddie? It's 2:30 a.m., but it's a Saturday for me, so I normally stay up pretty late on Saturday. Well, it's Sunday morning. Eddie, why can't we pay with PayPal for subbing? Yeah, the reason why we can't use PayPal at the moment is because we're kind of waiting for them to give us a tick of approval. PayPal is, like, to be fair, they're a very old company that has, you know, certain standards and expectations, terms of service, requirements, all that kind of stuff to work with people. It's been a bit of an uphill battle, but we're getting through it. We'll get PayPal. We'll get PayPal. We need PayPal. I think, you know, the main issue with PayPal doesn't like the pools, hot tubs, and bikinis section. They really hate the pools section. So like we could have PayPal tomorrow if we just remove the pool section, but you know we're trying to figure out, like we're just like, yo, PayPal, like hold us to the same standards as fucking, you know, other live stream platforms, like stop this double standard shit, you know. But anyway, I think, to be fair, PayPal's done a great job at creating an incredible reputation. Like if you see that PayPal sign on a website, you know that website's trusted, and I get that, right? I understand what they're doing. Like they're a smart business. They've got a great brand for a reason. So we'll work within their guidelines. PayPal has always been tripping. I don't know. PayPal's cool. I like PayPal. Eddie, please, I'd love to have a notification of your tip, even one. Huh? Eddie, what is Kick/Stakes plan for supporting community resources and tools like Botrix, Kick Assist, etc.? Kick's plan for supporting community resources is like, yeah, we want to support the community resources and you know the creators from a development perspective on top of Kick, unlike any platform before. We spoke about this with Dave last week. If you watched the previous episode, it's like we want to supply people who want to develop on Kick more data, more access to, you know, not just like the API, but the data that lives within the platform to build these tools which aren't possible elsewhere. Like we want to go a layer deeper. We don't just want to supply like, hey, look, here's like this endpoint for chat. Here's this endpoint for viewer list. Here's this endpoint for that. We want to go like a layer deeper and let people build like within the platform, you know, as almost like partners of ours, right? That's kind of like the vision that we have for this. You know, I think a lot of the time websites will almost like block the access to certain data because they want to monetize it, right? They want to hold that close to their chest. We want to do the opposite. The same way we do 95-5 split. We do 95-5 split to creators because we're like, hey, look, you guys should have like all the money. You earned this. The same for people who want to develop on top of Kick. We want to give them access to everything, right? And we want to go a step further. So that same philosophy for you know, people who want to develop on top of Kick's API, you know, develop tools and whatnot for it. So again, that's a little while away, but we got big plans for that. I think that, you know, all the tools that you know, work on other live stream platforms are going to love what Kick has in place. Eddie, interview pool streamers. Yeah, maybe we need to bring a pool streamer on. Maybe we got to do that again. It's creating diversity on people we bring on Kick Talk. Like I said, we want to bring people on who hate Kick. We want to bring on people who love Kick. We want to bring on people having problems with Kick. Maybe we want to bring on some pool streamers, some streamers from all shapes and, you know, categories and whatnot. So maybe. Eddie, will you add sports betting to Stake Q? This is Kick Talk, man, not Stake Talk. Get me in next week, so Eddie. Hey, man, we'll make it happen at some point. I reckon I've got a few names today that I've seen in chat that I'm going to make sure I follow up with. But yeah, we got to bring on as many guests as possible. Warzone streamers, yeah, Warzone streamers. Hell yeah, we love Warzone. Warzone's big here on Kick. Eddie, keep smashing it. I'm proud to be an official streamer for the best platform in the world. Fuck yeah, man. That means a lot. Like that's literally like, yeah, I think MsSavage asked like, what is the goal for Kick and in terms of like reputation? And like our most important one is really for people to be able to say like, I stream on Kick and like fucking super proud of it. Like people like go like, you stream on Kick, that's great. You stream on the best platform, the platform that actually looks out for you, the platform that has the most entertaining content, the platform that's associated with the best streamers. Like, you know, again, it's making sure that people like, you know, go, hey, look, I'm super proud to be associated with this brand. The same way I am super proud to be associated with Kick. I want everyone to feel that same way. But again, that's going to take time. But if you already feel that way, then fuck yeah, that's absolutely awesome. Eddie, if a streamer / mods misbehave, is there a way to report to Kick support? Yeah, support@kick.com. Send us an email, support@kick.com. The email is always open. Like people, I don't think realize that support@kick.com literally is there to reply to you 24/7. Like, you know, send us stuff, talk to us. Like we're here. Hey, thank you for the 5 gifted, man. I appreciate that. Where do we find Kick merch? I think it's shop.kick.com. I believe shop.kick.com. Yeah, that should be it. Eddie, when Eddie XQC collab? Don't know, maybe, I've been on XQC's stream like once or twice, I think. Maybe we need to make it happen. Maybe XQC will come on Kick Talk, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. He streams on different time zone to me, but big shout out to XQC. He's a legend. I'm proud to be on Kick. Literally wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Thank you, Eddie. Testy, fucking love you, brother. Appreciate that, man. Eddie, say GAAAAAH. What's that? What's GAAAAAAH? Is that it? Did I say the right thing? GAAAAAAH? Do streamers still get KCIP if they are sponsored by BC Games? People get KCIP no matter what sponsors they have. We don't care what sponsors they have. Like that's absolutely fine. You could be sponsored by whoever. KCIP is completely separate. And again, like we love anyone who is offering our people, so the streamers on Kick sponsorships. That's great. Like, you know, if a company is actively sponsoring Kick streamers, we fucking love them. Like, it doesn't matter if they're competing with any of our companies. Like, we don't care. Like BC Game in this example, we fucking love them. Keep supporting Kick creators. That's great. KCIP creators, keep supporting them. Like we love that. Support Kick creators in any way, shape or form. And we love you. It doesn't matter if you're a competitor or if you're whatever, right? Like that's literally, we couldn't care less. Eddie, why did Destiny get banned? Destiny, I don't get involved too much in the moderation side, but I think there was obviously some like violence and whatnot insinuated, which was problematic. But again, yeah, moderation is something that we're continuously working on improving and doing our best. It's, you know, it is a difficult, difficult one to get right. But again, I think, you know, I think we just want to create a platform where people, you know, definitely feel as safe as possible, like we're talking with MsSavage, right? And I think, you know, there's a certain point we need to draw the line. They won't get paid for those viewers. Any plans on dealing with bad seeds in this platform? You mean like bad streamers? The streamers are constantly, everyone's held to the same standards. I think we're talking that with MsSavage just before, you know, again, it's about making sure the right people represent Kick. Yeah, we're making sure that the people that we directly are involved with, you know, definitely represent the platform that we want to be seen as. So yeah, again, we have a lot of contracts up for renewal, which we're looking to, you know, reconsider potentially. Hey Millie, how you doing? Can I verify my channel if I do hot tub only? I think, yeah, of course you can. 100%. You can do hot tub only. You can do any type of content. You can get verified as long as you meet the metrics and you're not like, you know, breaking terms of service and you know, doing the wrong thing, then of course, 100%. Eddie, what do you think of the Fousey comeback on Kick? I think it's great. Fousey has shown some of the most insane IRL content. Like he has pushed the boundaries in a few shapes and forms. You know, Fousey is definitely a pillar of what IRL content has become. He has, you know, shaped the scene this last 9 months, and really proud to have him on Kick. And I think he's a great asset, and looking forward to seeing how he goes now. It's great to have him back. Massive shout out to Fousey. I'm streaming since 1 year, but I will give up soon. Oh man, you know, streaming ain't for everyone, to be fair. It's hard work. Streaming is really hard work. Like I must say, I think people look at live streaming and go, oh, fuck, these live streamers have such an easy job. Like, you know, I think sometimes there's this running joke that like live streamers have like the easiest job in the world. Like, no, it's hard. Like getting your initial viewership up, building that initial community, like keeping it together, staying consistent. Like it's hard work, man. It's not for everyone, that's for sure. But at the same time, I wouldn't give up unless you know you really have to. When it works out, it's incredible. It's such a rewarding thing to do. Like I again, just talking from my experience, I stream once a week, right, for like 3-4 hours. Every time I get off a live stream, I feel really fucking good. Like I feel like I had a really good time. Like I spend my Saturday night, it's a Saturday here in Australia, right, from like, you know, 10:30 p.m. until like, you know, 1:30, 2:30 a.m. every Saturday. Like, you know, most people out doing like, you know, whatever on a Saturday night, enjoying themselves. Like the one place I want to be is sitting on live stream, whether it's, you know, talking with the Stake community or the Kick community. Like it's fucking awesome. So, you know, before you give up live streaming, my word is like, hey, look, you know, when it works out, it's fucking awesome. It's so cool. Like live streaming is unlike any form of social media out there. Like you get to interact with people in real time and be yourself and, you know, enjoy all types of different things you can do online. It's great, but fuck, you know, it's hard to get there, but when it works out, it is so rewarding. So, you know, if you're close to giving up, you know, completely respect that it ain't for everyone, but I think it's if you can pass through the hard times, it's definitely worthwhile. Eddie, could you add clip section like TikTok on Kip? Yeah, I think we could add it like that. I think the biggest thing with TikTok is that obviously it's like the way they recommend stuff is obviously incredibly good. You know, we don't have that recommendation engine in place yet. I think the thing with clips as well is that clips, obviously if you watch a clip, like it usually will only make sense if you kind of know the creator. Like 9 out of 10 times the clip makes sense based on the context. Like it's a little bit harder sometimes to kind of show people like clips that are really entertaining if you don't know the streamer. So again, we've toyed with this idea. We had a proof of concept of this like a year ago, even longer, which I think was showcased. But again, it's really hard to find like the right way to introduce clipping into like a TikTok sort of like variation that actually ends up being engaging. It is quite hard, but again, it's not impossible. I don't think it's impossible. Can you say shout out to cities? Hell, massive shout out to cities. I hope you're doing well. Eddie, I enjoyed this stream, and if you ever need a mod, see you on Kick. You need a mod, let me know. Have a good night. Thanks, Biscuit, man. Appreciate it. And I probably do need some mods. I've got a couple of mods, but probably not enough based on today's stream when we had a few problems with trolls. Eddie, serious question. How is it possible for coders to be claimed when the TG... this is a Kick talk, man, not a Stake talk. Thank you, Eddie, for the opportunity. I gave up Twitch for Kick, and I'm loving it. Hell yeah, man. It's good to have you here. We'll you know, appreciate the effort you put in. Bring back abs. Hey man, you tell abs to come back. Listen, man's out living his dreams. You know, he's got the world out there for him, and he's doing what he wants to do. If everyone has same standards, why are people verified without the requirements? Yeah, good question. I think the verification requirements have changed over time. I think when Kick first opened, getting verified was a lot easier than it was now. Now to get verification, we're a bit, you know, you wouldn't notice, we're a lot stricter. Like if someone just rocks up the Kick and starts view botting and tries to get verification, they get declined. Like you can't just like come here and just have like a 75 view bots in your channel for 10 hours or 20 hours or 30 hours and then get verification. It doesn't work. So, you know, we've continued to kind of, you know, make it harder and harder to get verification. There are some people who got verified early days who you know, weren't held to those standards. You know, our idea is at some point in time, we will go back and like review every single verification we did. But again, I think that's, I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like once you give someone something, you can't really just take it away based on a change in how you know, hold people responsible. I think if someone does something wrong and they're in that category, we'll definitely take it away. But if they don't do anything wrong, I think it's the wrong standard to take. But again, it's, yeah, good point. Good question. Is Adin returning today? I think Adin's returning pretty soon. Well, he's been saying he's going to fucking return for ages. I don't know. Then again, like, dude, like the one thing about live streamers as well is like you know, you live a unique life as a live streamer. You have so much flexibility to do as much as you want or as little as you want. I think some live streamers who are incredibly successful have that flexibility to just disappear for 2 or 3 months. But I don't know when Adin's coming back. It's up to him. He's taking a break, and fuck, he deserves it if he wants to take a break. Edit his contract, buddy. The thing about Kick and like how we work with contracts is the way we create contracts with creators is we don't hold people like, you know, you don't have to stream a certain amount, that you don't have to stream a certain type of content. The flexibility of a Kick contract is what makes them so appealing. Like I know what other platforms make their contracts look like, and they're like, it turns into a job. And the moment you turn live streaming into a job is when it's kind of bad. Don't get me wrong, if people like approach the Kick contract as a job, it'll turn into a job, but we want to let them still approach it as live streaming, right? And we want to let people approach it in a way that they go live when they want to go live. So, you know, finding that balance is incredibly important. So yeah, no, we're not going to edit contracts to force people to do stuff. Kick needs inbox, aka whispers. We were talking about that before. That's not on the roadmap at the moment, but hey, look, maybe it'll change. But my thought process on that is you know, there's other platforms for talking to people via direct messaging, right? Don't think that needs to live within live streaming. I love the whole concept of KCIP able to be earned by creators who aren't hitting the big numbers. Also, yeah, that's a big one that we're looking to hopefully roll out soon. I spoke about this on Kick Talk episode 2, I think it was. You know, the idea behind not making it sort of metrics driven, but content driven. The fact that we want to give, you know, good creators who create great content access to KCIP, so we can continue investing into their content and helping them to better their live streams. So, you know, we want to remove the metrics from that. We want to support the best content, the best entertainment on the platform, not just people who have the most viewers. So we're going to get to that. It's something that's in the works right now. Eddie, are you excited for Ice's Hunger Games? Yeah, I'll tell you what, I am. I'm genuinely excited, and I hope he does a great job with it. You know, as long as he stays safe. I emphasize this to him many, many times. I hope everyone stays safe. What's up, good? Hey, Jackson, how you doing, man? Oh shit, you got a founder's badge. But you have creators that are in KCIP that it was handed to them by other big creators. They never earned it. Yeah, again, this comes back to this idea of kind of double standards. I think, you know, we need to continue to work on that. I think as well, you know, yeah, the KCIP, there's a lot of learnings in it. There's been so many learnings. Like KCIP was something which obviously no other platform has ever done before. And obviously the type of creators and the type of content that has ended up pushing and the results of it have been really interesting to analyze. And I think we're very quickly learning you know, where KCIP does really well and where it doesn't do really well. So, you know, again, a lot of learnings involved in this process, a lot of adaptations that are going to be made to it. Like right now, KCIP is like in like V0.1, right? Like it's the earliest days of KCIP, but the potential that KCIP has to support people who normally couldn't become full-time live streamers in towards making like, you know, great content and investing into like taking their live streaming careers to the next level, like that in itself has so much potential, right? That's what KCIP is there to do. KCIP isn't there to support people who have already massive audiences or already well connected in the space and are friends with the best creators out there and can you know, get extra money on top. It's to help people go from, you know, being small to medium-sized creators to becoming the next fucking XQC or the next Kai Sonata or Adin Ross, whatever, right? It's for helping people to reach that next level, right? It's meant to kind of give people the support that they need, because, you know, getting from being like a small to medium-sized streamer to becoming a big streamer is fucking hard work, and it is hard financially to get there and create incredible content. So that is literally the whole point of KCIP, is for us to invest in creating this next generation of live streamers. So, you know, when you talk about saying like, hey, look, this person only has KCIP because they know X, Y, Z, like, nah, we don't want to do that. We want to find the upcoming live streamers, support them, and make them, you know, help them to become the next generation of, you know, stars, right? So KCIP killed IRL. Yeah, again, this comes back to the idea that we're still like pulling some levers and, you know, trying to figure out how to best implement it, because it definitely does end up leading to people sort of streaming sometimes for the wrong reasons. So we need to balance that. All right, so I'll probably got to wrap this one up pretty shortly. It's getting pretty late. Is there any other decent questions? KCIP ruined Nick White. Eddie, do an IRL with Zerka, date IQ. I don't know, maybe IRL streaming sounds scary, man. I'll maybe get to it. V2 when? V2 soon. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be worth it. Trust me. Eddie scuffed Jim Carrey. Well, I'm not gonna read that. What brand are the black t-shirts? Oh, I don't know. I mix it up a bit. Eddie, you know some Spanish words? My Spanish is not great, unfortunately. My Spanish is not incredible. I'm slowly learning maybe a bit more Spanish with all the influx of Spanish creators here. All right, guys, listen. I think it's almost a wrap for Kick Talk episode 4. We've got another Kick Talk next week. It's going to be great. We'll probably have Andrew back by then as well to kind of lend a hand. So I was missing my co-host today, which they made things a little bit more complicated, but I think we got through it pretty well. Again, massive shout out to the guys that came on tonight. Like, you know, having Shakty come through and talk about his you know, journey on Kick and all his upcoming plans was so awesome. You know, show Shakty some love. He's an absolute legend. You know, MsSavage as well for having that tough conversation. You know, really appreciate that. Jess for just being herself and coming online and you know, adding that amazing value and energy that she always has. And you know, also to you guys in chat for asking me some incredible questions. I love hanging out with you guys, seeing so many verified people coming by this chat. I've been trying to get to all your questions and stuff. But again, this is the whole point of Kick Talk, is like, you know, we've got a live streaming platform. Why not like literally live stream with the community about what we're doing and what our plans are and talk to you guys? So, you know, this is the whole point of Kick Talk, and we're going to be back next week with 3 new guests. If you want to join Kick Talk again, I think the best way to get involved is maybe hit up Andrew. Otherwise, we'll probably seek you out in case there's like, you know, something specific we want to talk about. But yeah, I think that's a wrap. We've got to find someone to host. Let's take a look at who's online.